Attention, attention with Bo Nix and also Cam Ward, Hendy, Arroyo, Jaden Blue, Milroe, Milton, all report to the moon, please. To the
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
To the moon.
So many players, show players looking really good right now. One being this kid, Hendy. They're throwing the ball to him, wheel routes, wide receiver monster, just pulling in passes left and right. This is Breece Hall. This is Hendy equals an Achane Breece Hall hybrid. Am I saying I'd rather have Hendy over Achane? No, but I'm not saying that we won't someday very soon say that. And if you think that is something that can't be said, then you are just closed-minded to say that that can't be said. Because guess what? This man Achane was doubted more than anyone we've ever pumped up on this channel. And if anybody can say anything about the next Achane, it's me. I get to do that. Not anybody out there trying to act like they can pretend to get on the train we're conducting that's the Achane train. Hendy is a hybrid of those two players, Breece Hall and also Achane. He catches the damn ball as good as anybody in the league maybe a year from now. And he blocks as good as anybody from a pass catching perspective than anybody maybe right now. He could be considered at least one of the top 5 best pass blocking minds at the running back position from day one. And he might become the best receiving back in the entire league. He could easily be that. Hendy to the mother freaking moon. I love what I'm seeing out of this kid, catching footballs all over the place. And even if, let's say he gets nearly 80% of all of the receiving work, so the PPR work, and then let's just say he gets half of the up the gut runs. Like, does anybody understand what kind of volume that is? I don't care if he gets half of the runs up the gut, the first and second down runs. Maybe he does get half initially. Half of those work, those types of plays and that work, and 80% of the PPR work, if not 100%. This is the guy. This is the guy. Ramondre puts the ball on the ground. He's not going back in. And for people that say, oh, he wasn't efficient according to my Excel sheet, let me find my Excel sheet real quickly. My Excel sheet.
You've just been Smitty disciplined.
So tired of people trying to use college data that doesn't keep in mind the offense, the coaching staff, what the coach wants to do with the player. Travis Hunter doesn't run a lot, Smitty. He will in Liam Cohen's offense. Liam Cohen's going to design some wide back plays for him. Hendy,
Jam.
in Associates,
H and Associates.
is on the rise.
Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
On the rise. On the rise. Hendy to the moon. Hendy to the mother freaking moon. And then next up, we've got to look at this kid, Cam Ward. I'm telling you right now, Cam Ward is special. Cam Ward's, these people that draft Caleb Williams in a redraft over Cam Ward makes me scratch my head. And really, I don't know what the best word is to use. I would say I'm dumbfounded for sure. But I'm even more so just curious what's going through someone's mind if they think Caleb in redraft is better than Cam Ward or Bo Nix or Drake May. Use all the rookie quarterbacks, Penix Jr., over Caleb Williams in 2025. And then on top of that, throw in the rookie. This rising star right here. He looks fantastic. His offense is going to be sneaky. I'm not saying they make the playoffs, but what I'm going to tell you is that they surprise some people and they start prepping the readiness of people to accept what the Titans could be 2026. Remember what I'm saying here. I don't think that the Ravens or Bengals don't grab the wild card spot, whoever wins the division, the other one. Same thing for the Chiefs. and for the Broncos. One of them's winning the division. One of them's grabbing the other wild card spot. Then there's one remaining for the Jets. The Bills win the division. The Jets, the Raiders will be in the mix. I don't think they grab it. They could. The Chargers, probably the most likely team to grab that wild card spot, but the Raiders are in the mix. Maybe the Jaguars don't win the division, or the Texans. The Titans are going to be, and the Steelers, I don't think, make the playoffs, but maybe they're in the mix for it. But the Titans won't make the playoffs. They can't. There's only 3 wild card spots. They're not going to make it, but they're going to be surprisingly exciting. It's going to be kind of like the Bryce Young vibe for the Titans. Oh, wow, next year, can't wait. What's in store for this offense maybe next year for this team. Everyone's going to be talking about Cam Ward's second year. Year 1 will still be an explosion fest for the rookie. It's still going to be a fantasy football glorious year, and he's going to outscore Caleb Williams like in an insane fashion. It's just it's ridiculous. And this guy, Bo Nix, and Cam Ward's having an amazing camp. He's throwing missiles all over the field. Bo Nix, according to his coach, is exuding confidence. I don't know if this is the one. This is the Bijan Robinson, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw Bijan Robinson came out and said that everyone's been pronouncing his name wrong. It's not Bijan. And this is a hard one to accept because not only have we been conducting the Bijan train from day one, but now he's telling everybody it's not a big deal. He was in an interview today. He says, not a big deal, but my name's not Bijan. He goes, I don't care how people pronounce it, but you pronounce it Bijan. Bijan Robinson. So it's going to take some getting used to. There'll be some fickle Freddies that come in when we say Bijan, and they're going to be like, this guy doesn't pronounce Bijan right. Technically it's Bijan. Dijon. Maybe we make it work. It's hard to adjust to something like that. I feel like I don't know him anymore. It's kind of uncomfortable, but Bijan. We'll get to that Bijan Robinson news right there. God, that's tough. That is tough. Sean Payton said there's a new confidence level from Bo Nix, who exuded confidence in just commanding the team, his attitude, his grit, his desire to win, his desire to get that extra yard. Bo Nix exuding confidence. Maybe we hear next year that it's not Bo Nix, it's Bo Nix. I don't know. I'm going to be open-minded if that happens. Bo Nix, we don't know. Honestly, we don't know anymore. Remember A-Chan? It was A-Chain. Everybody called him A-Chain, and then it was A-Chan. Kamara, that one is actually both. Because he said his mom says it one way, and he says it one way, and he actually says Kamara. His mom says Kamara. And so that one, you have people going back and forth on, but out of Kamara's own mouth, he said, I say Kamara, my mom says Kamara. So that one's wild. But Bijan is how you say Bijan Robinson. It's wild. Sean Payton says that Bo Nix has a new level of confidence, and he exuded it last year, especially with helping coach guys up on the field. Leader. Penix Jr., leader. Bo Nix, leader. Caleb, not a leader. Even more comfortable in the offense. This kid is going to be a top 5 to 6 quarterback this year, Bo Nix. It's happening. You don't have to accept it. I could care less. You'll be back in here acting like you saw it coming, but we've been here from the beginning. We haven't seen you here is what we're going to say. And we're going to let Bo Nix and this Broncos offense with Harvey and Ingram, top 5 tight end, and Ingram, Harvey, top 6 to 10 running back per start, whatever he gets on the horse, and Bo Nix, a top 5 to 7 QB.
Let him cook.
Can't wait. So excited about this season for all these guys. Hendy, smash, absolute. Then you got our boy, as I just mentioned, Cam Ward, smash, absolute monster. Bo Nix, smash, absolute monster. And then there's this guy who Smitty warned everyone about, but no one wanted to listen. If Ryan Poles just would have picked up a phone or an iPad and watched the fantasy football show for 10 straight minutes, he would have known not to draft Caleb. He would have known to take Bo Nix or Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. He would have known to take one of these guys or JD5. I mean, come on. And he didn't. Instead, he took Caleb, the 6th best quarterback in the draft class. Yeah, that's right. JJM. I even think JJM is better than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is the 6th best quarterback, maybe. No, actually, he's not, because we got Milroe. Milroe's a better quarterback. Unfortunately. So Caleb's been looking very, very bad in camp. Ben Johnson ripped him and the starters off the field at one point. Adunze said it's exciting to see somebody with discipline coaching things up, and that could be part of what Ben's trying to do. No one's saying that Ben's ripping Caleb out of the lineup before week 1 or even in week 5 or even at the end of the year. Like, he's going to try and fix Caleb. But Caleb is a bad pocket passing quarterback. Caleb was the most sacked quarterback in the league. His offensive line wasn't even close to the worst offensive line in the league. But a Bears fan or somebody that doesn't know what time it is will tell you that the Bears offensive line was awful last year. It wasn't. It was ranked in the top 12 on some metrics walking into the season, and it's still ranked inside the teens in a lot of categories. And just because Caleb held onto the ball too long and got sacked, you can't blame that on the offensive line. That is not the offensive line's fault. In fact, the metrics measure for that. There's no accountability or any sort of fault put on the offensive line after a certain number of seconds, and yet people blame the offensive line. This is a Caleb problem. He doesn't know how to command a group of young men on the field. He doesn't know how to stay in structure or in the pocket. He was the worst starting quarterback in the league yet last year in throwing to open wide receivers. When a receiver was deemed open, metric-wise, Caleb was not even in the top 32 quarterbacks in terms of throwing to open wide receivers when they were deemed open statistically. Caleb is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And he throws a lot of garbage time because his team punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out. If anybody watched Caleb at the beginning of the year through the middle, it was nothing but 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And then when teams would play prevent and Caleb would go out there, scramble, get outside of structure, he'd make some things happen, throw some garbage stuff. And at the end of the day, the guy would have some stats, but it's not pretty. None of it was. And then it all, just like always, gets blamed on the offensive line, the surrounding pieces. This man was handed the best situation a rookie QB was ever handed, they said. Everybody said that, except for me, except for us, except for this community and this channel. We said, this doesn't matter what he's handed. He's not worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And right now he's proving that. Now maybe Ben Johnson can fix this a little bit. Maybe Ben Johnson can turn him into some sort of, I don't know, 15, 16, sometimes occasionally 12, top 12 quarterback production-wise. But I have a feeling Caleb Williams is going to be on another team in maybe 2 or 3 years. I don't think that happens this year. I'm just saying that this is one of those quarterbacks that will not get a second contract with his team. They'll move on. They'll draft somebody else. This is not, and some of this isn't even necessarily all his fault because this Bears organization is a Mickey Mouse organization. The fan base is amazing. I love the fans, and the fans are always welcome here. You can vent here. But this is a bad situation, and I feel bad for Ben Johnson. And what I believe probably happens to the Bears in maybe mid-season or earlier is they trade for a running back. I believe they trade for a running back. They trade for Walker, or they could trade for Bigsby. They could trade for ETN. There's a couple other running backs that come to mind, but they most certainly are going to have to make an offensive move because Caleb won't be getting it done. So Ben Johnson's going to say, we got to try and turn this and fix this and get the onus off Caleb, get the pressure off Caleb. He's not handling the pressure well. So we're going to go trade for a running back to help Caleb develop. That's what's going to happen. The Bears didn't. They crapped the bed. Ben Johnson, as good as he is, scheming up stuff, he's never been in charge of the full restaurant. He's been in charge of the kitchen. Cooking up the plays, but he hasn't been in charge of the full restaurant. What did I tell you at the beginning of the year? And I'm not saying Ben Johnson's going to fail. It's like a 50% rate that an offensive coordinator flips head coach and succeeds anyway. And if Ben Johnson is good at some things, he might fail at others, and it's not something we know yet. You can't just say because he's such a good offensive mind, think Miami Mike McDaniel in Miami. Guy's an offensive savant. He's an awful head coach. He's a piss poor head coach. The guy doesn't even know how to manage the clock. He even goes to the podium, and you might say this is refreshing to hear. It's not to me. But he goes to the podium, and someone said, have you ever thought about not calling plays anymore and handing that off to somebody else? And he's like, we'll look at that, probably. It's not what you want to hear. First of all, that's his wheelhouse. But Mike McDaniel is not a good head coach. His scheme is amazing. Shanahan is also not the greatest head coach. He's not as bad as McDaniel. He's not as bad as some coaches that have tried to do the coaching thing that were great offensive coordinators. But Shanahan's also so bad at so many things, and he's a great offensive mind. His coaching trees always flourish. Shanahan brings a lot of good qualities to the table, but being in charge of the full restaurant is not one of them. And I've said that for years, and the fan base in San Francisco is starting to turn. It's about 50-50. They always get refocused and rejuvenated, and I get a lot of people that say, Smitty, you're out of your mind. But then they come back mid-season and go, you're right, I'm done with Shanahan. They need to fire him. What's this Chicago Bear team do after Ryan Poles botches the draft, over and over? And I say that because everybody said it was so amazing. Now, while Stroud has not been amazing, Stroud is still a player that's going to play in this league and succeed. I just don't think Stroud is someone I'm believing in fantasy football. Bouncing back, the offensive line's a mess. But you've got this team that continues to botch the quarterback situation. And then they go and get rid of Fields. That was not a good decision. They should have built around Fields. Fields is a better quarterback than Caleb, and it's not even close. And half the fan base knew this. Half the fan base chanted this and protested this. And they pretend they're not now because they're trying to be on board. And I understand that. I respect that out of a Bears fan. I respect it greatly that they want to support their team no matter what. Ryan Poles goes out and drafts Rome Odunze, who we like a lot. We loved Rome Odunze, but they didn't even need him last year. They had Keenan Allen. I'm not saying Keenan Allen or DJ Moore are better than Rome for the future, but back last year, you hire Shane mother-freaking Waldron, who I screamed from the rooftops is the worst offensive coordinator hire the Bears could have ever made, if not just for one reason that he sucks, but the other reason is that he's a 2 wide receiver set architect. And what do? You draft Rome Odunze at the top of the draft, and you can't even use him. It's like drafting a 5th tire, and you don't even need that spare tire at all until the next season. Then they fire Eberflus like I predict. They fire Shane Waldron like I predict. And who gets to skate away scot-free? Ryan Poles. Ryan motherfreaking Poles. Everybody, you're questioning he's on a hot seat, kind of. Give him an extension. That's it, Bears.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Poor Bears fans is all I got to say. That's all I got to say. You know who else I'm super excited about? So we're just doing a little camp, some special things happening in camp right now. And I'll tell you right now, this is one of the sleeper. This might be a Moon Man. Arroyo, tight end. Seattle, just a phenom. Just a phenom. Just a monster out there. And probably the most impressive thing is this is what? Hold on, I want to read this comment. I think it got removed. I was trying to read this comment. Hold on, what was it? It was the one about nobody in here is starting starting Fields over. I don't know where that comment went. I was trying to read it. I think it said something about no one here is starting Fields or taking Fields over Caleb Williams. Yeah, they are. yeah, they are. Arroyo is a rising star. And this is a guy that you can get as your 3rd tight end in an underdog best ball draft, or 2nd tight end, obviously. but he is a player that I think is going to climb tremendously in value. But I don't think he'll climb past any sort of point where he becomes not attractive cost of entry wise. I don't think he can climb that. What that comment say? I think it got moderated. I don't know if he said something that the automatic moderation moderated, but he said it was something like no one's starting Fields. Repeat it in appropriate verbiage. Whoever said that. I want to put it on screen. I think I have it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Fields. Okay. See it, Fields. I don't know why it disappeared on me. It might have got moderated, but it started to say something about Fields being no way anybody's choosing Fields over Caleb Williams, and I was trying to just trying to find it. This made me laugh. Arroyo is going to be a superstar potentially. He's got the potential, as the caller said the other night. Generation whatever, using the words potential. But Arroyo, I don't know why I erased Arroyo. Let me write it again. I think I wanted to write it again. Arroyo. Arroyo. That's a hard one to repeat over and over. Arroyo. This guy's going to the moon. And the beautiful part about Arroyo, this tight end out of Seattle, is that Milroe and him are working together like peas and carrots. Just together, playing catch in the backyard like monsters. Just looking like they've got a rapport built that no one else has, on the team. Milroe's rising up. Milroe's gonna take Sam Darnold's job within, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe. Maybe it's half a year, but I think it could be like really early. If it's not before week 1, who knows? It really could be. You never know, but the fan base is gonna clamor. I think they gotta give Darnold the shot because Darnold is getting paid for it. I think that every team that makes that financial investment, they no matter what, they go down that road. It's just kind of a crappy way to run an organization, to be honest. And the money talks and the money directs people to do things that they might know better not to do. Kind of like Kirk Cousins, staying in as long as he did in Atlanta. He shouldn't have. This staff was a very smart staff. The offense is very good. We talked about how Zach was going to get the offense going, offensive coordinator, just be a total monster. We talked about how Raheem Morris was a fantastic head coaching hire, but they sat on the Kirk Cousins money and made that make their decision instead of knowing Penix Jr. should have went in. And honestly, it cost us a shout out on the red zone because, as you know, Scott Hansen. We had a challenge with Scott Hansen that if Penix Jr. was a top 10 quarterback, and he said it didn't have to be on the year, just it couldn't have been like 1 week. It had to be multiple weeks of him playing at a top 10 level. He would have shouted us out on the red zone when the Penix touchdown happened and said the Fantasy Football Show predicted this. And he also would have done an emergency jump back on the live stream like that week. Just random appearance in the live stream, come back and talk about it and talk it up. And the coaching staff cost us that because Penix Jr. was headed to the moon. Scott Hansen should be on the show here probably this month, and we'll talk about that challenge and how close he felt in his mind we were on that. And I'm fine with his decision if he didn't think we earned it yet, because it was 3 games. It was not quite there to his description of what needed to happen, but what a call. I feel really good about that call. We told him JD5 was going to be a top 1 to 5 QB, and that was going to happen right away. What a call that was. I wish I would have got the challenge on the JD5 thing. If I would have said he'd be thought of in circles as the number 1 QB in the league during his rookie year at some point, like at the end, we'd all say this is the number 1 QB in the league. I think he would have taken that challenge more than the Penix Jr. top 10 challenge. And so I'm kicking myself for not telling him that. But we'll give him another challenge here this year, something bold. I'll say, let me challenge you yet again to something massively bold. No obligation. Just consider maybe giving your boy in the show a shout out if X happens. And I think that would probably be Travis Hunter. Looking like maybe it'll either be a Travis Hunter, one of the Triple H's I'll challenge.
Call HHH and Associates.
You guys vote in the chat right now what you think will be the best bold prediction to hand Scott Hansen when he comes on, so that he would say, if that happens, I'll shout you out on the red zone. So you tell me what one of the predictions we're popping off. I think we probably go to the Jupiter board for that. I think
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so
Bucky
large, every planet in the
or
solar
Hunter.
system could fit inside it. There are no bigger.
The Saturn men.
or Knicks.
One small step for man, one giant.
Probably a Bucky, Hunter, or Bo Nix prediction, maybe, which would be something I think Scott would. I want Scott to step back when I say it, just like he did when I said that JD5 would be a number 1 to 3 quarterback his rookie year. Like, we'll leave that year going, this could be the guy, the number 1 guy. Just like when he stepped back when I said that, and stepped back when I said Penix Jr. would play like a top 10 quarterback during the season. He goes, not this year. Not this. And I love Scott Hansen. This is no hate. I'm just, showing you what I'm acting back out what he did. He goes, not this year. You mean, I go, no, Scott, at some point this year. But the money, my whole point in telling that story is the money is what had this Falcons staff sticking to their guns. And the tangent I'm on is to talk about Darnold, that this team's gonna go with them no matter how good Milroe is. It also is a good thing to put this thing to bed the right way so that you don't just go Milroe and then Darnold's looking over Milroe's shoulder. You want Darnold to fail. I mean, I want no one to fail. This world, I think, trade him and he plays in place of Caleb, and then Caleb goes to the Arena League or whatever. They revive that. Whatever. I want everybody to succeed. Go dominate wherever you're going to dominate, okay? But as far as, I believe Darnold will probably fail, and if he fails before Milroe gets a shot, there's no threat. There's nothing behind Milroe. He's not looking over his shoulder, and that's good. So, but I think the important part is, when do they pull the trigger? At some point, the fan base will clamor and chant Milroe's name. They're going to have to go with it. But guess who's attached to him? Why am I talking about this? Guess who's attached to him? Arroyo. Guess who has a rapport like no other right now? Rising up together. Going with the twos. Being the second in rotation. Arroyo. Now Arroyo's launching into the lineup because Fant's no longer on the roster. Arroyo's launching into the lineup, but guess who has the rapport? The established early rapport. It's Arroyo and Milroe. Milroe's going to take him to the moon. Milroe's going to take not only Arroyo to the moon, but Arroyo's going to take Milroe to the moon. It's going to be a glorious thing. The last piece of news, I'm covering tons of things in the YouTube channel when I'm talking about camp updates. I'll try and keep some of them focused on 4, 5, 6 players, and then we'll do another video on the other 4, 5, 6 players. That way it's easy to kind of follow along, and not everything is just a whole, news show about all of the stuff and recap everything. I'd rather keep it kind of focalized. This right here, Bijan Robinson, notably getting extended work with the wide receivers. Bijan is going to have a massive season. Bijan to the mother freaking moon. I'm picking that up pretty good. I'm not stumbling on Bijan. Bijan Robinson to the moon.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Bijan to the moon. Bijan to the moon. Bijan to the moon. That's right. I know it sounds funny. Bijan is the number 1 running back in fantasy football. And he's just going to explode this year. He's going to explode. Bijan Robinson getting wide receiver work. We knew that was going to happen. But I think why that's news, if anybody wants to know why that's news, we already know Bijan is the kind of guy that's going to explode no matter what, right? But he's been getting so many he's been getting so much love in the rushing department. He hasn't really gotten anywhere near his receiving potential in this offense, and I would love to see him catch 500 yards. I'd love to see him pulling 3 to 4 receiving touchdowns. I'd love to see him at the 65, 70 reception mark instead of being in the 40 or 50. Bijan's going to the moon. It's crazy. Jonathan says I'm not calling him that. Then I don't know, Jonathan. We're going to send you on a lap then, because that's how you say his name, Bijan Robinson. He wants it, he gets it. He wants it, he gets it. And you say otherwise, you're going to go get him coffee. All right, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
You know what's so funny about the Bijan Robinson thing is we did a show, what was it, like 2 days ago, where we were talking about saying names differently. And it's like, you know, we were talking about, like, you know, what running backs was it? Jaden Blue, Blue A, Jaden Blue A, you know, Bo Neeks, Bon Nikes. Like, we really nailed that show. Like, I mean, now we're getting all kinds of different names. All right, let's hit these super chats. Jacob with a super chat, appreciate you. First of the day gets a standing ovation, by the way. First super chat of the evening. Not the day, the evening.
Hi, I'm worried William, and my mommy just warmed me up a hot pocket. I've never even
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, Jacob, for dropping the first super chat of the evening. Jacob says, you drafting, Smitty. Yes, we will, Jacob, be drafting in a minute. I'll let you know. I'll tell you when to get the Underdog app open. Hey, Smitty, would you trade Amon-Ra for Bucky? I would rather have Bucky personally, but it's a really close, you know, thing. If you can get a little more, I would try, because the fair market value on Bucky seems to be late second round. Amon-Ra is kind of still that 12, 13, 14 area. So you should be able to get a little bit more. So I definitely take advantage of that. Been a while since I've caught the show. I don't know what the problem is on that one, pal. That's on you, not me.
Take a big laugh.
But welcome back. Appreciate you. You know, I understand some people can't watch. Maybe it's schedule. Maybe it's, you know, significant other or commitment to whatever. You got tons of, you work like 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week. I work about, I think I calculated, I work about 98 to 110 hours, maybe 120 hours a week. It's crazy. You know, I try to do a calculation of it. And let's see, 24 times 7. So we got 168. We still got a lot to go. I get squeezed out a little more. But I appreciate you being here. And I work for you. Just come by more so that my work goes noticed, you know, by you, Sizzle. You leaning AJ Brown or Nico? Probably Nico by a hair. AJ Brown's knees concern me, but I would go a different player. I'd go London. I'd go Bucky. I'd go Achane. Ward, I really didn't have a reaction. I'm focused on Cam Ward. His response to Levis being out. Could be his brother. He don't care. Cam is coming. Okay. Yes, he absolutely is, DJ. Cam Ward is the real deal. He's so fantastic. I think he's on the Moonmen. Moonmen?
The Moonmen. Dropping loads in outer space.
Moonman. Moonman! Travis, you're live?
Hey, yeah, I mean, Nico has his own injury kind of worries too here and there. Maybe not so much as a St. Brown knee, but he's missed some games too. So, like you said, I'd take a London over both of them.
Yeah. Thinking about picking... hold on one second. What's this? Thinking about picking 3 tight ends first. Wanna screwing my league.
You know, you'd be screwing yourself.
Yeah, I don't. what kind of sorcery is that, bro? What are you doing to yourself? Just go to the toilet, take your money, put it right in the toilet, flush it. A little bit easier, quicker. You could even redraft after that, you know, if you regret it. But I don't know. Anybody that drafts 2 tight ends in a non-best ball, even in best ball, it's not the smartest move. But it makes more sense because of the optimal scoring. But whenever somebody drafts in a non-best ball 2 tight ends before they filled out their lineup, especially if they're early, that is the most anxious. I can tell you right now, that is the most anxious personality type of person you'll ever come across. That's an anxious Angus, and then they're frantic, like, how do I get rid of it? What can I do, Smitty? How can I make this trade? Those are the kind of people that destroy their team trying to get a certain player. They just want the player no matter what, and they'll tear down everything. They'll let the house burn to the ground to get that player. You cannot draft 2 tight ends in a non-best ball, let alone 3. I don't know. You might be joking, I don't think he is joking because he just gave more details about his league, and that follow-up, you can't walk back. I know 10-man full PPR just to screw your league. Your league won't care. Your league, there's other tight ends out there. You could take all three. You could take Bowers in 1. You could take McBride in 2 and Kittle in 3, and everybody would just go, thanks. You bump down a player in round 1 for me. Thank you very much. You bump down a player in round 2, or round 2 might have been normal. You bump somebody around in round 4 or 5 because of the Kittle move. I mean, Chris, come on, bro. That is not a smart move at all. Go ahead, Travis. I'm not going to waste more time on that. That's ridiculous.
No, and just quick. Someone else just said I might do 2 tight ends if Bowers and McBride come to me.
Yeah,
do it. So with the QBs, I was just going to say, if you draft, if your draft goes the way you want it to, or if you draft well, there's no reason why you can't get, a Ward, a May, a Penix, one of these type of guys as your QB2.
Oh, yeah.
They're going later in drafts, so you don't have to put everything on them.
Yeah.
You get your elite QB, and then you grab them. And
Casey, no, like you've been here a while, bro. I consider you kind of a watching veteran of the show, and you know better than this. I might do, yes, this is the comment. I might do the 2 tight ends if Bowers and McBride come in. Bro, you're losing that way. There's no advantage of having a flex be McBride or Bowers. And yeah, you're going to get a positional advantage, but you're getting kicked right in the sack at every other position, and you'll be chasing those positions the entire draft, and you won't catch up to everybody. And the differential and your little advantage, plot and ploy here is not going to make up for the difference across all the positions that you're bleeding out at. So, Casey, this is one of the worst ideas you've ever had.
You never get what you think you're going to get for one of them in a trade either. Because I know that's the thought process of a lot of people. So I'll trade one. People aren't giving up RB1s or wide receiver 1s for tight end.
What are we doing? We've learned, Casey, you've been here for a long time. Travis, what do you think about Arroyo right now? I don't want to get ahead of our skis or put the cart before the horse or put the cart before the barn. But I'm starting to really think that there's a potential Arroyo is the Laporta of this draft class. And I mean Laporta his rookie year. I think this is Laporta rookie season, potentially. And especially if Milroe gets in there, then it for sure is the case. And I don't think that Darnold would be the worst thing in the world for him either, because Darnold's going to use him as a safety blanket. But, I mean, I just think this is one of the more underrated players right now at the position.
I liked him and Gadsden before the draft as kind of guys, if they land in the right spot and get the right chance, they could be something, because they have that pure receiver. Obviously, Gadsden was a receiver, but Arroyo, if you look at what he's up against too, there's JSN, but then after that, there's an aging Cup who misses time with injuries quite a bit, and some rookies and some other small pieces, but there's not a lot of competition for him to have to break through to get target.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Like I'm just thinking tight end could go off this season. It doesn't matter, Chris. Doesn't matter.
I say that every year.
But
it always looks good.
Even if it is, it doesn't matter. You're taking a tight end. Let's say you do pick McBride and Bowers, and they play like wide receiver 5 and number 14 or 12. Let's say they play like wide receiver 12 and 8 or whatever. You're probably still passing on players that will finish right where they are or ahead of them, or you could still grab a tight end like Isaiah Likely or Arroyo, and let's call it a Ingram, and you might make up way more points on that tight end side of things than the other side. And I just think you aren't looking at that. You're imagining Bowers having 15 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. He's wide receiver 4. If you throw him in with the wide receivers, and then you get the same thing out of McBride. And even if you were to potentially get one of those guys to play like a wide receiver 4, 5, 6. Bro, you got to understand, you're so far behind at those other positions, it doesn't matter. You're going to get rocked at the running back position more than you're benefiting. Now, grabbing one of them, I understand that positional advantage, but grabbing one to be your flex, it's not the way to go about doing things, my boy. It's not. It's not a good move at all. It's definitely not a good move. Super chat from Scotty Dew over in Hawaii. Scotty Dew says, aloha, Nick Chubb thoughts. Scotty Dew, don't take offense to this, but this seems all these players that like kind of become, I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but they become relevant all of a sudden, maybe. Like, these are always the players that you always are dreaming and hoping for, I feel. Nick Chubb looks slow. He looks like a sloth out there in slow motion. And even though the opportunity is nice, even though he could fall into the end zone, like I said earlier on the show, 6 to 8 times if he stayed healthy all year, this is a horrible offensive line that's been ravaged. A quarterback that I think is rattled and doesn't have his confidence back. And even though Chubb can jump to the ceiling and hit his head on the ceiling in the gym, probably, 7-foot ceiling, he's banging his head against the top of it, or 8 foot. He's banging his head against the top of the ceiling. That doesn't matter. Eckler's out there doing 8 or 9 straight, not to the side. If you ever did a one-arm push-up where you grab your shoulder and you do them or something, Eckler does straight one-arm push-ups. It's unbelievable. It doesn't mean a thing. And Chubb went out there in pads to try and show people he was ready before the Texans brought him in. I thought it was a linebacker trying to take some running back reps. He looked like he was really slow, and even now he looks really slow out there. The player to own, Scotty, is Woody Marks. The player to own is Woody Marks. I don't know when we'll see him. I don't know if we'll see him, but I'll tell you one thing. Oh, that's Dak's contract. We were talking about Dak too, because Milton's going to really step on Dak at some point. It's going to happen. Where's that game log? Here it is. Woody Marks game log. What in the hell are we looking at right here? If you go down to this 2021 line here, Woody Marks, I thought this was a typo when I first saw it. 2021, 83 receptions the running back had, 502, 3 TDs. He still, during that season, if you're like, well, did he convert from wide receiver? 2021, he still had 416 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. Woody Marks could be a real threat, and we've had him on the preemptive waiver wire show. We haven't touched this much. We've I've moved Marks up here from down here, but he was on this board. I haven't added anybody. This is our most recent preemptive waiver wire show. Let's get into a weekly winners real quick. Underdog code Smitty. Before I keep going on a rant, I know it's getting late. Underdog code Smitty. Jump into a draft on Underdog. The link is pinned in the live chat. Code Smitty gets it done as well. Weekly winners. Always have your app ready to go, and we'll jump into weekly winners draft. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. So if you drop $10, the minimum, they'll give you $5. If you do $100, they'll give you $50. If you do $1,000, they'll give you $500. You do $2,000, they'll give you $1,000. All the way up to $1,000, they'll give you a 50% match on your first deposit. And I think it filled. Let me just log in here, and we will jump into a draft. I think I got the one pick. If you didn't get into my draft, I'll try and do another one. I can't promise I will, but I'll try and do another one. Bijan Robinson is there. I'm going to take Bijan, and we'll see what happens. All right, I'm up. Let me just go and make that selection. Let me pull it up on screen here, and we'll all jump in together. Let me just see. 19 picks away. Weekly winners. See if I can locate it. Here it is. Okay. So let me put this on screen in a second. What was I saying, Travis? What was I even talking about? Scotty Dew. Oh, Woody Marks. Okay. Woody Marks. Yeah. He's the guy to own. We actually liked him a lot in the early offseason, and then we landed in Houston. it was a solid prospect, but then when Chubb landed, we kind of let that, that pipe dream go a little bit. We still, liked him, and I said that. I think he was on like a midseason monster list, and I took him off.
Mr. Dooney had 5 memberships.
5 memberships. Gifted memberships. I think we had one at the beginning, too. Gifted memberships. We had 5 from Dooney. Thank you, bro.
There's a member chat from Jay Freezy.
Mr. Dooney, I'm sorry, I didn't see. I think you dropped it right before the show started, so I didn't see the alert for it. But Mr. Dooney, you there? He said, "Damn, no love for my gifteds." I didn't see it. I usually do find it at some point during the stream, but if you drop it before I go live, sometimes that alert doesn't happen. But Dooney, you still here? Dooney to the moon. Let's give Dooney a stick. Dooney! Doon? Appreciate it, my boy. Let me give you a standing ovation. Will that help? Let Dooney cook.
Let him cook.
All right, this draft is flying. Let me just get yesterday's team off the board. Let's see if I can move this. Dooney, you're up.
And more memberships.
Who's that from?
Stro.
Who?
Stro in the Shell.
Thank you, Shell. Shell dropping 10 gifted memberships. Your boy's in the 2 spot. I went Bijan. So hard to get used to saying Bijan. I think I'm doing a pretty good job not fumbling on it, but it's almost like I don't know him. I feel like it's like someone's been lying to me my whole life. Now I got to call him Bijan. It's crazy. This is a weeklies. We'll do one more week. We might jump into another. Let me look. I'll go slow into the next one. I'll make sure everybody has a chance. Thank you for those gifted memberships. Smitty loved the channel. Approved for me to factor in strength of schedule. If all things are equal, yeah. I need Mickey Mouse matchups on Sundays for my sanity. P.S. Travis Hunter already practicing his touchdown dances. Of course he is. But I don't know. The other thing I give you advice, Famous Amos, is not to let it. You got to enjoy the climb. Like if you're down, like too many people would go into Monday night wanting to be ahead 100 points. That's not the way we were brought up. That's not the way Dad did it. When we were younger, we wanted to be down by 5 with our receiver going up against the other person's receiver. We wanted to have that rush. And now everybody wants to just be, everybody's so worried about everything nowadays. They want to take it slow.
Makes you lazy.
Bucky, okay, damn it. Brock Bowers is nice here. I'll go Brock Bowers here, I suppose. The question is, I got to go wide receiver, I think, because all things do feel equal. Do I go McBride and Brock at the same time?
I was just going to say that.
Let's try it. No, that's not. P.S. Travis Hunter. Yeah, thank you, Famous. But make sure, Amos, you're always excited about football. Don't worry about being stressed out. Enjoy it. Enjoy being down by 10. Enjoy, going into the championship game and needing to fight it out. Garrett Wilson, MHJ, Kyron. I'll go Garrett. We'll go balance here. Bijan, Brock, Garrett. Do it live. Balance is fine. Balance never hurt nobody. And who's that guy that dropped the gifted memberships? What was it? Dune. So Dune is here. He did acknowledge that I saw him.
Yeah, he saw it. Yep.
All right, Dune. I'm sorry, bro. Always just nudge me. You don't think I'm not my boy. Maybe if I'll even give you a drone flight later.
What's his name? Jay Freezy had a membership chat.
Oh, okay.
With a question.
Freezy said thoughts on Barner. I think Arroyo gets most of the work. I mean, look, Barner's not special. Arroyo is special. So I think maybe somebody's getting somebody some coffee, and it's probably going to be Barner, but who knows? Okay. Probably just missed it, says Vader. Vader, appreciate you, my boy. Scotty, do appreciate you. I hope I answered your question, and I hope I turned you onto the idea of maybe looking at Marks and giving Marks a little look-see. Oh, and I didn't even go over Jaden Blue. For those that don't know, that was the other player in the description. I hadn't gone over Blue yet. Blue's just been looking really, really good. He looked sharp. He had a nice carry today. I think I have the, let me see how many picks away am I? 13, okay. I think I have the image of it at least, of Jaden Blue. Did I end up sending it to my screen? Maybe I already did. Let me look for it real quickly. I think it might be here. Yeah, here it is. Look at, so Jaden Blue starting to stack some reps together. This guy is stacking big plays for sure, one on top of the other. And this is him breaking through, and he's so elusive. He's so quick. He's so shifty. Kind of reminds me of, I would say, I used Doug Martin the other night we used Doug Martin earlier on the earlier show just to say that the stats look like Doug Martin stats with Woody Marks. Those receiving numbers were crazy, but I do feel like there's a little bit of that with this kid's game. I'm trying to think of a relevant player that he plays like. I mean, it looks a little bit like Breece Hall in some ways, the ways that he runs. A little bit of Chase Brown. God, it's hard to really nail down a comp for Blue. He's just exciting. He's a little bit, some would say, on the smaller side, but so is H. So is Kyron. So is, all these electric running backs. Breece Hall is bigger. People think he's smaller. But he's thought of being a guy that's not built to take those carries up the gut. We got somebody dropping some memberships here. Dooney dropping another 5. Dooney dropping 5. We got the Shell drop 10. Dooney being a monster up in here. Dooney, appreciate you doing it again. Dooney and Shell, standing ovations. We're gonna do it bunk bed style because I only have 3 picks before I'm up. Bunk bed style celebration. Put you guys together on this one.
Let him cook.
Thank you, Shell. Thank you, Dooney. We're almost on the clock here. Damn, Hampton went. That would have been really, really nice. Who's in this draft? Did someone snipe me? No. Okay, we still got a couple of our boys here available for the taking. I'm going to probably draft. Oh, yeah. No, he's still here. I don't like any of these top options. I'm going to reach down a little bit, and I'm going to go. I don't care if this is early. I really don't give a crap. I just want to make sure I get him. Travis Hunter, Garrett Wilson, Brock Bowers, Bijan Robinson. There, I slipped up there. Bijan Robinson. Bijan. That's how you say his name. He made it clear today. He speaks like, you guys have been called in an interview. You guys have been calling me Bijan, which is fine, but he's like all like shy about it. He's like, but my name's really, he's shy about his name. My name is really Bijan. It's
Wait until year 3. We said anything.
It's Bijan. Like, you could have said something, pal. You could have said something. Thank you very much for those gifted memberships, my boy. Who's here? Let me see. I want to go Trey Henderson a tad early. None of these guys, when I say early, none of them are going to make it back to me. So I don't really care about reaching a significant amount of picks when at the end of the day, both these guys would probably be gone at the end of this very round. So it's not a reach. I'm getting my boys. I'm not going to pick ADP when these players will not make it back to me. So Hendy and Bijan, Travis Hunter, Garrett Wilson, Brock Bowers. Remember, it's weekly winners. So even if it took Henderson a little time or it took Travis Hunter a little time, this is the kind of team that can smash, and put together those big, huge weeks. So loving this squad so far. I like where Ted McMillan's now falling. He's not, look, I mean, it's funny how much hate I get for being hard on Ted McMillan. And I don't know if the Best Ball Mania ADP, because weeklies is different, it probably is still a lot higher. But I'm super hard on that 3-4 turn. Like Tet's going sometimes in the third round. It makes no sense at all. And I don't, and you know what also doesn't make sense is why his weeklies wouldn't be a higher ADP than his non-weeklies, because if it took him a little time, if everyone thinks he'll get there, why would you not have him ranked high? It doesn't make any sense. And Rice is going in the freaking fourth round a lot of the time. Look at here. He almost fell to me. He's 42 overall. I would have taken him over Hunter and then taken Hunter at the next pick, but that didn't work out. But man, I mean, it's crazy to me so Tet here is not bad. I don't hate Tet's value here. Tet went at 5.9. That's fine. That's where he should go. Maybe even the sixth round. I love it even a little more. Real quickly, hold on one second, Travis. I got a $20 hauler from the Shell. The Shell dropping wads tonight. 10 gifted memberships or more. I forget if it was more. And then the $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, the Shell, coming in strong with the super chats tonight. This one says, won all my friend leagues because of Jaden Daniels call last summer. 60+ best ball drafts with variations of Mars and Moon Men and Jupiter Men lists. Let's win leagues. I appreciate that endorsement there, my guy. Appreciate you coming back to tell people too, because sometimes there's new people in the chat and they're like, what's this guy know? And so, Shell, love seeing that. We were the JD5 train conductor last year. There was no other channel or person higher on JD5 than your boy right here and this community. In a 2QB Superflex, who are you taking with the one pick? JD5 or Allen? Allen or JD5? One of those two quarterbacks for me. Those are the top of the top. What do you think about the triple stack? Smitty, you rock. Thank you, Scotty Dew. The Cincinnati triple stack is nice, and I don't even know if you're talking about Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and Burrow. I like that more than I like T. Higgins, but in best ball, T. Higgins goes super high. Where'd he go in this draft? It's just crazy how high he goes. In weeklies, wow, he fell past the middle of the third round, which is where he probably should go. I'm almost going to get my boy here. Actually, oh man, this is tough. I got to make a decision here. It's weeklies and these quarterbacks fly off the board. Oh, Debo. He took Debo, so my decision's easy, but damn, I wanted both Debo and Mahomes. Debo was about 5 players down. Mahomes was 1 player down. I was going to take Mahomes and hope that Debo would fall. Now that Debo's off the board, I've got Travis Kelce. I've got Bo Nix if I want to go Nix, and then hopefully Ingram would fall to my next pick. Let's ADP count here. Ingram's got a 92 ADP, so he will probably not fall to 95, but it could happen. I love taking those quarterback, tight end, cross stack situations in weeklies. I love it. Rome, Olave, Kelce. Should I go Kelce here? Or Bo Nix and try and get Ingram?
I like Bo Nix. If you think you got.
Let's do it, especially in weeklies where, let's say Mahomes doesn't have a stellar day, and we're not stacking Mahomes anyway. Not that we can't later with Richard and with Royals or whatever, but then Bo Nix saves the day and this team's weekly winners with the quarterback play. These super chats coming flying in. It's triple stack. To answer your question, Scotty Dew, and appreciate your super chat. You're the man. I don't like the Higgins, Burrow, and Chase stack. Even in weeklies, I don't like it. I've drafted it just to get it, and I don't like it. I like Chase Brown. I'll do that triple stack, but even that is a little bit dangerous because you're putting all of that weight on the, at the top of the draft. And I'd rather get a Dak and Lamb and Jaden Blue and Pickens or whatever stack, which will cost you a lot less so that you could surround that stack with more high drafted players to support it. When you've got to put Chase in the 1 spot, put T. Higgins in the 2, and then take Burrow probably at 4 to guarantee it, you've got literally just your third rounder to support that when the Cincinnati Bengals have a bad game or whatever. So it's a little more dangerous when you try and play that game a year later when it was cheap the year before. And that's the kind of thing that can win a league, though. Look at McBride in the second round. Look at Harrison in the third or fourth round, depending on your league. And then Kyler later. You still got your first rounder. You still got your, in some cases, your fourth and fifth and whatever. You know, so you got a lot more support to surround that with talent than you do going all those Bengal guys so early. It's tough. Can T-Law have enough to feed both BTJ and Hunter? Absolutely. This is the biggest misnomer in fantasy football, that T-Law has to be a top 5 QB to have both BTJ and Hunter be top 10 wide receivers. It's the biggest misnomer out there. Aaron Rodgers, as Travis alluded to one time, if I remember correctly. Granted, Adams moving around, but Adams and Garrett Wilson were both top 10 wide receivers. And Aaron Rodgers was not a great quarterback last year. So let's not pretend that T-Law can't be a 5 to 7 guy. He could. The pedigree's there. The hype wasn't, misguided. We weren't wrong on T-Law hype. He's just been dealt some shitty hands, and he now has a coordinator that's going to cook up so much short yardage, stuff that even T-Law can't screw it up. T-Law is going to become one of the better short yardage quarterbacks, and he's never been that. And it's going to be all designed BTJ and Travis Hunter, and they're going to be wide open. And in many ways, like 30-40% of every throw that T-Law throws will be put on the wide receiver's shoulders. The need to make the play will come from the wide receiver. The ability to make the play will come from the wide receiver. T-Law is going to facilitate. So, yeah, I do think we could get T-Law to even be a top 7, 8, 9 quarterback. Well, 100%. He could be QB 8 and still give you 2 top 10 wide receivers. No doubt about it. And then this one, what's your selling point on JD5 or Josh Allen? What's your selling point on JD5 or Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson? Longevity of being in that top tier over, as far as Josh Allen. And JD5, my selling point would be that he hasn't scratched the surface yet. And you're not you specifically, but anybody questioning whether JD5 should be taken number 1 overall is literally saying that maybe he's hit his ceiling already. And that to me is a reckless way to look at it. Igbuka will go Igbuka. Love Igbuka. Fantastic play there. Ingram ended up going middle of this comeback round and didn't end up getting that stack. That's okay. And keep in mind, guys, this is a weekly winner contest. And so you can take more gambles when some people say I don't draft enough wide receivers. A, I don't care what other people think. B, just because someone else, even on a grand scale, everybody else didn't draft good late wide receivers doesn't mean that I can't. Like that's the thing that is so misguided in the best ball community in terms of explaining what people do right and wrong, is that you're basically telling somebody the averages make it so you should be doing this, this, or this. But at the end of the day, all you're admitting and surrendering to is that you don't know ball. If you don't think you can be the guy to go grab the later wide receivers that can allow you to grab the players you believe are the best players on the board, then you're admitting that you are a data man and you're going to draft and be a slave to the data, and that you can't find the BTJ. You can't find the Emeka Egbuka, the new BTJ potentially of this class. You have to go off the data, because the data tells you that you've got a 7 or 8% chance of making the playoffs in underdog on, let's say, Best Ball Mania, if you don't go 3 wide receivers in the first 5 rounds. I don't care about that data. I live in a world where I believe I'm going to be inside that 5% to 8% of group, but dominating the way they're doing it. They're doing it wrong. It's insane to me how we're a slave to this data that is a year old. The data from last year, not the data from this year. And you telling me that you've got to grab those 3 wide receivers early or you won't win because of the data means you don't have faith in your abilities. Kenwar with a $20 hauler, you monster. You monster. Monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
It's my boy right there. Keep 3 Superflex PPR Bijan. Then I'll go to Travis. I know you've been probably dying to get your word in on some of this. PPR Superflex Bijan in the first. Bijan in the first round. JSN in the 9th round. Ladd in the 10th. Those are some damn good keepers, bro. Darnold in the 16th. Okay, I just threw up there. DK in the 8th round. That's not bad, but it's not necessarily Kraft in the 16th. It was going to do Bijan, JSN, Ladd, but debating Darnold for Ladd. No way. Why would you debate that? Ladd in the 10th round is crazy, bro. Crazy. Darnold. Debating Darnold for Ladd. Kenwar, can you follow up on that? Because Darnold, I think, is probably going to lose his job by week 3 or 4. I don't know if you missed the beginning, but Milroe is a midseason monster, my boy. He's a midseason monster, and he's going to take Darnold's job at some point. I got Milroe down here. Midseason monster. There's no way I'm even entertaining this. But Kenwar, I love the super chat, my boy. Yeah, I'm curious as to if there's a reason. Like, just because it's super flex, Darnold ain't no great shakes, my boy. You're keeping a quarterback. But he's a quarterback. He's not a winning quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. So, Ladd in that value, it doesn't matter if it's a super flex though, Kenwar. You could keep keep Daniel Jones because it's a super flex on that rationale. That's also a garbage move. You know what I mean? Don't worry about whether super flex matters. Context matters, but the context surrounding Darnold being the guy that puts Ladd back in the player pool, I don't think so. There'll be some quarterbacks. You'll get Penix Jr. You'll get Cam Ward. You'll get Bo Nix potentially. And I don't know who's throwing what back, but there's not a chance in hell I'm throwing Ladd McConkey back in favor of Darnold. I don't care if Darnold was a 25th round keeper. I don't care if, let me put it this way, Kenmore. If you told me you get Ladd at that, 16 round or 15 round keeper value, or you get the number 5 overall pick in next year's draft and Darnold in the 18th round forever, I would still take the Ladd value. If that kind of makes you feel a little bit more. Let's see here. I'm gonna go Trey Harris, who I love. So now I got a little wide receiver crew, very, very underrated. Hunter, Igbuka, Garrett Wilson, Trey Harris. I'm fine with the underrated aspects of this lineup. All right, go ahead, Travis. Sorry. Thank you, Kenwar.
I'll wait till you make this next pick. I was going to ask you about a trade.
Scatterboo for Judkins 12-team dynasty. Bro, I mean, why would you not want Scatterboo more than Judkins in dynasty? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we thinking Judkins is any sort of value? This is an ambulance chase. Anybody wants to go get a player that's probably screwed, bro. You know, and I don't mean that from a perspective of like I'm not rooting for him. You know, that he's innocent and wanting to see if he's innocent until proven. Of course I am. And that's why the court of law is there for his freedoms. But as far as the NFL is reacting, he's getting a 6 to 8 game. And I know you're saying dynasty, but bro, he's going to lose so much momentum and ground. Dylan Sampson's the better running back anyway, and that's going to be on display. And you got Ford, who's injured right now, so Dylan Sampson's getting even more work right now. And Dylan Sampson is a midseason monster. I guess I would just say, look to this, bro. I wouldn't be talking about these guys, Dylan Sampson. Also, you know, Scatterboo he's right here. Scatterboo's on this list as well. You don't see Judkins on this list, bro. And again, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. We have no idea, but the answer is Scatterboo over Judkins. Don't ambulance chase. It sometimes is an attractive thing for people to consider because they feel like they're getting a discount or a deal, or I'm catching a falling knife, but that knife's gonna cut. And then Shell real quickly says, I've been taking Gibbs or Bijan, Bucky or Chase Brown, Kyron or Brees with my first 3 picks with no remorse. And as you should, young man. That is a phenomenal way to attack fantasy football. And don't forget Hunter in non-best ball in round 5 or 6, wherever you can steal him away. Hunter's going to be a league winner in that 5-6 territory. Go ahead, Travis.
Someone, I think it was Bryce, was asking in a 1 QB redraft, would you rather have JD5 and Debo or Bo Nix and Rice?
JD5. Sorry, Bijan. I'm going to take you off the screen for right now. JD5 and Debo.
Yep.
Or what?
Bo Nix and Rashee Rice. Just 1 QB redraft.
Rice. That's a really good question. because it's redraft. If it was dynasty, it would be
Right.
a little bit different. And not that I wouldn't still lean because JD5 is so good, but in redraft, the discrepancy between these two is not as great as the hater would like you to think, even though we love both of them. We love both of them, and we love Rice more than the average bear. I promise you that. So this is why this should really hit home for somebody watching, is I'm still going to tell you this is not that big of a discrepancy. At the end of the day, Debo is going to ball the hell out. And I'm normally not in favor of non-best ball stacks, as a priority. I like them in some cases. I do like this one because the offense will be potent as hell, and it'll be very rare that they disappoint you. And the value is so late on Debo that it's not like you're, in the case of Chase and or in the case of let's call it Chase and Burrow, you have a much higher cost of entry sum total for that you're, if you get hit with a bad Bengal game, and they're more up and down too. They could have 3 bad games in a row. That's the way the Bengals have been before, proven. And they could also have 10 straight great games, but that hits you harder. This one's not going to hit you as bad because JD5 is going in that 3-4-5 territory. Debo's going in that 6-7 territory. So you have so much more early round support monsters that can carry you. I'm going to say JD5 and Debo in redraft, but I love this. And let me put it this way. If it was week 4 and the suspension was out of the way, and he might not even get suspended for those that, smart mouths out there that think that they know everything. I'm going to go Jaden Blue here. He might not even get suspended, but let's say the suspension is out of the way, then I might actually say Rice and Nix. But, we're talking about potentially missed games. We're having to make that decision up front. But just know that if it was week 4, I might switch it. That's how close it is. Yes, sir. Do I go Penix Jr. here? I've got good running back support. My running backs are Bijan, Henderson, Jordan Mason, Garendo, Blue. I've got Mahomes and Bo Nix. I think I'm probably, let me see. I still like Penix Jr. here though. Should I go Tootin?
Yeah, sure. Like you said,
I should have took, I love Blue, but man, I should have maybe taken, it would have been nice to have Bigsby and Tootin. I don't think, Bigsby could fall. I doubt he does. I think Bigsby is, look at 160.
We have 3 wide receivers.
No, I have 4. And again, for those watching that think that this is madness to have 4 wide receivers, it's weekly winners. You're banking on different strategies with this. You don't have to be somebody that has, all their value in the wide receiver position. If you're banking, Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, Buka, Trey Harris. I'll certainly draft more wide receivers, but my approach is to go get Keenan Allens, to go get Thorntons, to go get guys like that, Jalen Royals. And I don't care if maybe some of those guys take some time, because if Thornton is the screaming steal that we think he could be, and you get Thornton in the mix now with Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, Buka, and Trey Harris, and Trey Harris becomes the steal, I don't care about what people think I should be caring about, which is going so wide receiver heavy and miss out on all the other value when I believe I'm going to smash the wide receiver value. I'm clearly confident in my late wide receiver drafting. So do you draft to your strengths. Don't listen to the Mickey Mouse Excel sheet Erics out there that just say the same thing over and over and over. According to my data says that last year, off last year's stats, you were 8% likely to make the playoffs if you didn't have 3 wide receivers in the first 5 rounds, and you were 17% likely. 17 instead of 8? Oh my God, my eyes are popping out of my head. You couldn't possibly be one of those 8% that are crushing the game at the late wide receiver drafting. Like, give me the extra percentage. I'm all about the stats and data from last year's data. Like, for people that are so good at data, to be looking at last year's data and talk about it as if it's this year's data, as if they've got a crystal ball, is mind-boggling to me. I don't even have a degree in statistics, and I feel like I know better than to fall victim to some of this data imprisonment. Do I have anybody on the phone line? Let me hit the number real quick. Hold on.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dune, appreciate you. I just want you to know that. Appreciate Dune. Dune didn't think I appreciated him. I just didn't see it. I appreciate Dune. I appreciate Dune. Yoda says I'm in the first pick. Okay, Yoda, let's take a look at your squad. Let's see how you did. Yoda's got Jamar Chase, JT, Tyreek Hill, Worthy, Chuba, Pacheco, Jacoby Myers, Fields. Are you new to the channel and you found that you were drafting with? I'm just curious. I kind of have a vibe that you found us while you were drafting and you looked up the channel. If so, very, very glad to have you.
Let him cook.
But that's going to be my guess. So let me know if that's true and accurate. We're going to do a second draft. Let's do it. Actually, if we get to a like goal, we got to start. We got 81 likes. We get to 100 likes, I'll do another. This like I got 260 to 300 people in here, and we got 81 likes. Let's go.
Yep, he said recognize your name in the draft.
Yeah, that's what I knew. Your boy didn't waste time in school getting that psych degree. It's not a psych degree, maybe it's a psychic degree. We're here to do it live. Appreciate you. Welcome. You found your new one-stop shop, bro. Nobody goes live more than your new boy. And we're glad to have you. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live. So Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever big news breaks. And I'm also live almost every single midnight. On the clock here. Pat Bryant. I like Pat Bryant a lot. We're going to go... Because I think he could get drafted and I'm swinging big for upside, we're going to go Thornton. I'm going to go Thornton. But appreciate you here. Yoda, appreciate you being here. And nobody goes live. If big news breaks, come to the channel. I'm going to be live. Sometimes I'm about I'm about 5 minutes after a big piece of news breaks, or I'm like an hour or two on a rare occasion, like if I step out, or I'm kind of letting the dust settle because I think we're going to get more information. And the last thing I want to do is have 2 live streams that confuse people and have to go live again after I spend an hour and a half digesting news that was incomplete. So I kind of make judgment calls sometimes on waiting because I'm not there to break the news. I'm there to break down the news. I'm not somebody claiming to be the one that's breaking it. I'm claiming to be the one that everybody's scrambling to go see the reaction. And even if they don't care about my take as much as whatever, they still want to come and talk about it, congregate, hear about it, do it live. So appreciate you.
Look how fast the likes go up when you put incentive behind it. Come on.
101. So we'll do another draft. But can we get more likes in here? I mean,
It's not that hard.
It's so easy. It's all I ask. I mean, it's like, saying, hey, I'll give the free ticket to the show. Just don't piss on the floor when you come in. Don't leave your box of half-eaten hot dogs and popcorn tipped over when you're walking out. Just throw it in the trash and that's it. That's it. Thank you, Dooney. I appreciate you. A-Rod says, this is my first time here. You would have thought it was your first time here last night. I'll tell you that. We're getting close to the end of this draft. Really loving this squad. Let me scroll up and show you what I'm cooking up in this weekly winner. We've got Bijan at the 2-pick, Brock Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, Trevion Henderson, Pat Mahomes, Bo Nix, Emeka Egbuka, Jordan Mason, Trey Harris, Isaac Garendo, Jaden Blue, Bashal Tootin, Jonnu Smith, Dante Thornton. Loving the squad so far. Feel like it's a really good team. especially for weeklies. I mean, to have these pop players, that's what your goal is with weeklies. And we've had at least 4 or 5 20K winners from this community, not passer buyers, people that literally live on this channel. We've had at least 4, I think 4 or 5 weekly winners from this show, from this community. So proud of that. And I think some of our draft styles are I think this might be, and I'm not saying I don't want to win the Best Ball Mania, that I can't win it. I'm going to obviously try every year. I think I had such a good team that Camara and CMC year, and they both the second half screwed me out of so much money. So I would add some good money, big wins. And even that year, I think I cleared I want to say it was like $2,000 to $3,000 in prize money. One of them was a $1,500 or $1,800 prize. The other one was, I think, $2,000 or something like that. So that was a good year. That was a good year on Underdog. It was a fantastic year. That's not including all the weeks, the what do they call them? What are the weekly ones called again? I keep blanking on that. Not gauntlets. They're battle royales. That's not including the battle royales. But we've had some bad luck with some of that crap of sitting and shit. Remember, Ron Navy would have probably won some big money during that Hamlin game, and he got screwed out of that. Just some of that stuff is so frustrating. But I think our process is insane, and it goes against the grain, and sometimes it can have you swinging and missing, and you got to know that. So when we start talking about upside and Moonman and bold predictions, and back in 23, 24 years ago when I got into the business and did the radio show for 19 straight years on the longest running fantasy football radio show in the world, nobody's dropping bold predictions. That was honestly, I believe there was nobody doing bold predictions but me back in 2003. 2002/2003. Hold on one second. I got to make a pick here. People were scared to make bold predictions because let's go. I'm just going to go Milroe because I was going to time out. People would, and I didn't make any friends back then because it's like people were pissed off. It was disrespectful. It was looked down upon in the community to be like, Adrian Peterson, one of my predictions back in the day. This is when I did radio and written content only. Social media wasn't even really in existence. It was, hey, you can't say that about Adrian Peterson. You can't say he's a top 1 to 5 running back before he's taken a snap. And then it just pissed all over everybody's projections and being, somebody that predicts something to happen when somebody goes in and just is like one upper. I think is how it felt. And so, it's been doing it a long time. Trade calculator. The reason I got in the business is there was no trade calculator. So I said, I'll do it myself. And that's where I created the content. So thefantasyfootballshow.com, if anybody wants the flagship product of the brand is really the content. It was the trade calculator in 2002/3 when I created that bad boy. Rankings, bold predictions, 365, 24/7. Content, if you need that, go get it. Go get your fix. We hit our like goal, so we'll be doing another draft. My team, I absolutely love. Let me send it on screen. Thank you for joining us. Who was it again? That was the new guy?
His name was...
Appreciate you.
Coda Yoda.
Yoda. Yeah, Yoda. Yoda, appreciate you. Glad you found us. I always wonder how many people find us.
The Century member chat too.
I always wonder how many people find us that way.
Yeah.
All right, here's my team. I still have one more pick to go. Again, on weeklies, I load up on RBs and I take some gambles at wide receiver. But Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Jalen Milroe, it's weekly winners, no total points, no playoffs, no 1 week tied to another. It's just 20K to the highest score each week. Each week is reset to 0. Bijan, Trey, Mason, Garendo, Blue, Tootin, Rashard Smith. I love that this is getting put on Bijan. Sorry. This is getting put on Bijan. God, it's so hard to change how I say Bijan. That's really, really it's wild. It's almost like a dream. I'm going to wake up and go, that was a funny dream where Bijan told us we had to call him Bijan. Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, Igbuka, Harris, Bowers, Jonnu Smith. I don't even know that I'm going to take a backup tight end now that Arroyo's off the board. I would have taken him. I'm just going to grab another receiver. And you know who I kind of like right now, who's having a great camp as well? We didn't talk about him yet. I'm either going to grab Royals, which I think I might do. But I love Tesla right now. But he needs an injury to really, I'm going to go Royals here. He needs an injury to really, I think, get any sort of consistent volume, because you've got JMO, you've got St. Brown, you've got Laporta, you've got Gibbs. And you got Goff regressing this year, not stepping up. Ben Johnson gone's not going to be good. It's going to be an adjustment period. And so he really doesn't have an opportunity to be consistent unless an injury strikes massively. Let's go. Let me go back over here. So we're going to open up. Let's see what kind of contests they have that I haven't looked at that might be new. And Travis, go ahead if you have anything while I look. Any questions?
No, just the Shell sent his 5-month membership and said he's a lifetime member on the site as of Wednesday. Let's win.
Shell, more content coming. I'm going to drop bold predictions, a whole bunch of them this weekend. It is the weekend. I don't even know what day of the week it is half the time. Tomorrow, a bunch of bold predictions about like midnight Eastern.
Been live 3 times on Saturday.
Sometimes it's
like a weekday.
Thank you, Shell. Appreciate you, my man. All right, so we got the Chow Chow, $50. Weekly winners is $10. The Pomeranian.
Yeah, Roger would actually ask him to do a Pomeranian.
Was that's got to be recently dropped? Or am I just misremembering? No, yeah, it's got to be recently dropped because it's 50 max and I've got none of them. Okay. Let's drop into a Palm and we'll do a countdown here. Pomeranian in 10 seconds, okay? How do you get in? Click this link. The link is right here. Underdog promo code Smitty. In 6 seconds, we'll jump in. 4 seconds. 2 seconds. Click the green button now. Pomeranian, do it live. 11 more to start. That's going to be a draft full of all of us. Now, some of you might have hit the button early. You can still hit it. Drafting. It filled. I was the first one in it. And then 11 spots filled in 8 seconds. That's faster than our mock drafts. So this is a draft that's probably got 10 of us, maybe all 12 are from our community. We dominate these things when we jump in together. That's crazy. It was 11 more to start. 3 seconds later, full.
Mental sniping.
That's faster than we used to fill mock drafts. That's crazy. Guys, quick. Underdog code Smitty. The link's in the live chat. And let me see if I can find this draft.
So, the Shell, you got to pick one.
The Shell.
Big night for the Shell.
Big night for the Shell. Stock up on the Shell. Shell stock up.
Stock on the rise.
Shell stock. Hey, Shell, have you seen the Throne Men? If anybody hasn't seen the Throne Men, we got Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men. All the space stuff is in season. The Wild Wild West is off season. I'm sorry. Space is off season. And so once week 1 starts, there's no more Moon Men, Mars Men. They get locked in for reference, but we're not talking up Moon Men or inducting Moon Men. That's over. We go into Wild Wild West, which I didn't do a great job of last year, but the Wild Wild West, and then also now Throne Men. 2 different realms inside the in-season Spider-Verse or the medieval verse or whatever. Throne Men. Just a taste. Probably 2 guys that will be on it, but this will be the 9 players to own. Not necessarily the highest scorers. Not necessarily the highest scores, but they're the 9 players I want you guys to own. The 9 players that can win leagues on the clock right now. Oh, man. I'm looking at our community, man. These snipers. Genti's gone. I'm left with JJ and Puka. I'm sorry, JJ, Puka, and Neighbors. All the risky wide receivers right now with some sort of red flag. I got done dirty. Genti went at 5.
Told you, as they commence the sniping.
Oh, man. Sniping commence. But, hey,
It'd be a different team. Switch Switch it up.
Oh. Yeah, I'll take JJ. Remember what I said. Right now, you can't let the panic overwhelm. It's Jamar Chase, Bijan, CD, Gibbs, and maybe Genty, which is what you guys left me with. And then it's JJ. Like, I'm okay with that. Genty above JJ probably right now, I think is a safe and smart move. But I'm not mad getting JJ here after all those guys are gone. It's fine. He could be fine. Maybe he's fine. There's risk, but maybe he's fine. Smitty, redraft 10-team league. With the first overall pick, who should I go with, Chase or Bijan? If your league, my 10-team league, I'm almost always going Bijan. God, it's so hard to say Bijan. I'm going Bijan. It sounds so wrong. I think I saw somebody say that they're going to ask him to change his name legally to Bijan. I think it's the least he owes us. This is ridiculous. It's so hard to say it. Bijan at 1 in a 10-man is the way to go, or Gibbs. Because the wide receivers are going to be so plentiful in your 3rd or 4th round in a 10-man, do it, bro, and do it live. Don't even hesitate. I'm taking Bijan or Gibbs all day in a 10-man. You're going to get Garrett Wilson in the 3rd round, Rashee Rice. You're going to get Debo on top of that. You're going to have a fantastic squad. Bucky, I'm kind of surprised Bucky fell here, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's unusual for our community, but, I'll take it. I don't get a lot of Bucky Irving in our community drafts, so damn straight, thank you. I owe you guys a service. London was a great pick at 17. He keeps falling. Bijan thinks he's French. Yeah, I don't know, man. Bijan. And next he's going to tell us it's not Robinson. It's Robinson. Bijan Robinson. I think maybe we just do that. We embrace it and we add to it. Bijan Robinson. What do you think about? Actually, no, I'm not going to tell anybody. I got a little spiel, a little Bijan video, an additional one. He's got the most videos, I think, out of anybody. Him and Gibbs. No, Gibbs does. Gibbs has 1, 2, 3. Bijan's got 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe tied. I got another one that I'm going to do. Let me write it down so I don't forget it. Am I on the clock? No. Okay.
No, you're good.
Call in, guys. Bijan. Robinson.
Yeah, at least Achan did it within a couple weeks of him.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's
like 2 weeks into the NFL.
It's like I don't even know him anymore. I feel like I don't even know the guy.
Well, we do know he is kind of quiet. Remember his first year, you were even saying you would think he'd speaking up or saying something when Arthur Smith is running Algier and Cordero on that goal line, and he's not being used right, and he just kind of rolled with it.
Look at the snipage, man. This is tough. This is a little early, but I know I'm not going to get him back, and you guys taking Garrett Kyron had a ADP of 7 picks down further than this. Kyron, then Garrett Wilson. It's nothing. You guys leaving me T. Higgins. I'm gonna go Rashahi Rio, I say. Bouquet Irving. Justine Jefferson. Josh Allen. Jackson Smith. And Jigba. Lamar Jackson.
Turned into that Key and Field skit.
T. Higgins or JSN was the correct pick there. Thanks, pal. Next time I'll make sure to have you on the phone line so that I draft correctly. I apologize if I didn't go with what you wanted. I didn't realize that those are the only two ways to roll. Jaden DNLAS. Scary Terry. Devontae, okay. This snipe environment is wild. Jalen Hurts is there. DK. I like Hurts a little bit here. I do. I'll take Travis here. I don't mind Travis anywhere in the 4th round on underdog. Keep in mind if you're watching for the first time or maybe you're just getting back into football, Hunter goes in round 5, sometimes 6 in non-best ball. And in best ball, he goes like end of 4 or 5 turn. But if you don't think you're going to get him back at anywhere in 4, it's fine. You're getting a little less, home run ability comparatively to like a 5th or 6th round pick. That goes for anybody. But he's still top 15 overall potential on the year. And so he wins you a league at 42. But Hurts would have been nice as well. But because I have Rashee Rice, I wanted to make sure my receiving room is really solid. So I had to roll with that. DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts, DJ Moore, Ted McMillan. Travis D, appreciate you. Let me get these 2 super chats on screen. Kid says, redraft 10-team league. First, I already answered that one. Thank you. Appreciate you. Travesty. Traded Dart, Metcalf, 2 future first-rounders for Mahomes and Kyron. I assume 1 QB, because if it was 2 QB, you'd be in cuffs right now. Traded Dart, Metcalf, and 2 future firsts. I would take that all day.
Yep.
All day. Who's Dart? That backup quarterback? Who's that? 4th-string quarterback? Dart. I'm telling you, I didn't understand the Dart pick. I mean, I made that abundantly clear before draft day and on draft day. I a couple times, maybe 1 or 2 times, I said I'm going to keep an open mind to this, because Dable is a quarterback whisperer. But then we also said that Shane Steichen and Dable have both crapped the bed since their Jalen Hurts for Steichen and Josh Allen for Dable quarterback development, blueprint supposedly. And I don't know, man. I'm starting to wonder if it's even, something that we can attribute all to them anymore. And for anybody to think that, Dable knows what he's doing with Jackson Dart just because he knows how to develop a quarterback, he clearly doesn't know how to draft a quarterback. And I think Shuck is one of the worst decisions that the Saints franchise could have made. The Saints, the Browns, the Giants. I mean, what are these franchises doing? It really does suck to have Neighbors, yet another elite player at the level of Barkley, but at the wide receiver position, handcuffed and cemented into that New York long-term situation, man. It's just, he's so good and situation-proof, and a wide receiver is going to survive better in a bad environment than a running back because you're going to throw when you're down and behind. But at the same time, hospital ball city, changing quarterbacks, evolving roller coaster, revolving door at quarterback. It's not like the best. It's not the best situation. It can lead to good fantasy points, but at what point does it become problematic that he's getting hospital balls and a rotating QB room?
Yeah, I was going to say more risk of injury for sure. Oh, Travesty followed up with another super chat.
Travesty said that trade was 2 QB.
Wow.
He used his only phone call to let us know that he created a little situation for himself. Thank you, Travesty. Appreciate you. Advanced rate. Bro, don't you remember the story of me? And you don't want to be here, I'll just remove you. It's fine, but I'll tell you the story anyway. Your boy, I did a bunch of slow drafts that I was trying to get in at the last second, and then they all switched to an hour timer. I woke up and I want to say it's like 50 plus teams on auto. So I got screwed on a bunch of money and 50 or 60 best ball drafts because I did not draft enough best ball, and I was trying to max it out, and I was going to do them all slow. And then I think it's a week before that they convert over, but that crushed me when I woke up.
They convert, and it doesn't give you any like notification that the clock is changing either.
That's so bad.
Falls over.
But if I wasn't even the worst, it was just you want to come in and rip on something like that, think you're gonna, let me be negative in the chat and just try and be a Debbie Downer, then don't be here. Like, it's really simple. We don't need you here. Yeah, it was 50. It wasn't even like 10 drafts. It was 50 or 60. And I scrolled down and saw them all in auto. They were all in like the third, fourth round. Because worst thing is I slept in really late that day too. So it was like a double whammy, horrible luck. This team's looking good. JJ, Bucky, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter, Trevion Henderson, Mahomie cup to Rashee Rice. Loving the squad. Yeah, I would have liked to have known, like, they should put a warning, like a pop-up that you can dismiss that says, in 1 week from today, these drafts will convert to a 1 hour timer. It would be nice because you don't even know, man. That was horrible. Why do people have to do that? This is the best damn community there is, Caps. I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. But I do remove people that want to come in and just be trolls and act like they're gonna. Oh yeah, watch me. Yeah. I'm just gonna make a scene. Like, what makes you think that anybody wants that in the community?
It's the first time he's been in the chat in like a year.
Yeah, well now he's gone, so that's his fault. And he'll watch and he'll still watch every single night. he'll be here every single night anyway. He'll come in on his burner very, very soon. Another membership chat from Brant. Brant says 5 months. Thank you, pal. Standard scoring Achane or St. Brown. Achane for me. I can understand an argument. I can accept an argument. I don't, just because I disagree doesn't mean it's a bad take. But I think there's regression in St. Brown's production, not only just because J-Mo will take a big step forward and Laporta will be healthy and Ben Johnson not being there and Gibbs is going to get more receiving work. And they're going to be behind throwing the ball to Gibbs and doing some dump offs. And they'll throw, but with less efficiency because I think Goff falls apart a little bit. So, not a very attractive situation in my opinion. Look at Joe Mixon floating at the top here now in round 7. I'm still not taking him, but it's interesting to see where he may or may not fall. Kind of having to reach a little bit on some of these guys because I don't even like these players at the top. Addison, with the suspension that's likely to come down, and that's probably going to be a heavy one. I heard a lot of people projecting things on X today about like it's going to be a 2 or 3 game suspension. I don't mean it could. You never know. The NFL is weird about it. And the other thing we said about Addison is that if they want to come in low on the Rice suspension, they might drag Addison's lower too, just because it would be chaos if they went Addison 6 games, Rice 1, or Rice 0. So, the lower Addison's is the better. If it gets handed down quicker, the better and more likelihood we're going to love the Rice, discipline. But I keep seeing people say it's going to be like 2 weeks or, but I don't know. I mean, it's a DUI, second offense that he's been in trouble with the league policy. I don't know, man.
Can you see that message that's flagged in the chat? I have it on show or hide. I don't know if you want to just keep the guy or not. Okay, I'll let you see.
Oh, yeah. Here. We'll keep blocking all your burners. How's that? All right, let's see. Like anyone cares. Bro, you're driving so many people away. Everybody's so upset. This next pick feels pretty damn good to me. I'm going to go with good old Travis Kelce here. So I've got J.J. Bucky, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter, Trevion Henderson, Pat Mahomes, Mason, Travis Kelce. Definitely need to swing in and get some wide receivers here if the board allows it. You got Cam's autograph. It's awesome. Yo. Cam Ward to the moon, bro. Yeah, reaching on QBs. Everyone's going to reach on QBs, bro. You do a draft in here. It's a reach-a-thon. It's a total reach fest, bro. It's a total reach fest. It's crazy up in here.
You in a second overall pick in my dynasty league, should I pick Hampton or Hunter?
Probably Hampton, because I think you can get both if you're careful, bro. It's not that I don't think you should be. It's a rookie draft today. Oh, rookie draft. I mean, you can lean position of need, and don't let it stress you out that you know somebody's gonna laugh at you in the draft because you went Hunter. If you need wide receivers, it's very very close. But Hampton's probably safer. Hunter's higher risk but much higher ceiling because he could be a top 10 wide receiver. Palms are the worst right now. The QB reach has been insane. I haven't noticed. It's my first palm, so it's interesting to hear that. Here's a weekly winner entry on me. Thank you. $10 hauler. Appreciate you, my boy. Let's make it count. Let's make it count. Let's have a pizza party.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
And he says the following. Our boy Mike. Here's a week. Okay, thoughts on Marks. We talk about him on the other show, so make sure you go watch that. The other show today, the one on Mixon, and we talk about him a lot all the time. Now that every show since this show, and you will hear moving forward. Let me just hold on real quickly. Man, I guess I'll go Jaden Higgins.
What happened? Hello?
No, just wait a minute. I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, Marks. You're gonna hear about Marks from here on out. I mean, he's probably we talked about on the other show. The guy had 500 receiving yards and 3 TDs, and how many receptions was it, Travis? It's insane.
83 or something.
86 or something. 83. You're right. 2021, the man had 83 receptions for 502 and 3 TDs and ran for 416 yards and 6 TDs on the ground. So his receiving capabilities are just to the moon, and I think Marks is super underrated. And we talked about him on our waiver wire show. We talked about him a lot on this channel, but even before this news broke, just because we talked about him on the waiver wire videos. Anytime we did a waiver wire show, let me show you that. He was down here, admittedly down right here, but we just moved him up just to show like where he would go. I'm trying not to touch this. This is historically from the last time we did this about a month ago or so. So love Marks. He's been on this list for well over a month. I think he was on the first one as well. Woody Marks to the moon in terms of cost of entry. Woody Marks. What's his first name? Jaquavius?
Jaquavius.
Man. Any other deep dynasty? Yeah, Jaden Blue. Arroyo, the tight end for Seattle. Any of these midseason monster guys, make sure you're on high alert for. Jalen Royals, Brashard Smith's one of them. There should be some guys on this list. Pause that. Rewind that and pause that and take a look at that. I'm going to be on the clock here in a second. Judkins still falling. We're in double-digit rounds, and Judkins does not get taken. And I don't blame anybody. I'm not taking him here. I'm not doing it. Won't do it. Let's go. Damn, man. It is a total reach-a-thon up in here. I'll go Tootin here. Yeah, you keep saying that, Matt, but I don't know that you have any evidence for it. But there's no evidence on either side that we have, other than what we've been, told exists. But it doesn't really matter.
Guy that stands outside the court and screaming.
I mean, God, Matt's got him in like 15 leagues, I think. I don't blame you, Matt. Don't blame you.
On that last super chat, how would you still have Corey Krosky-Merritt ahead of Marks?
Yeah, for now, Corey Krosky-Merritt, Little Bill in Washington, the running back JCM. Krosky-Merritt's getting tons of love right now. He's a real exciting player, so for sure, that is one also. But he's on this mid-season monster list. So again, pause this, my guy. Take a screenshot of that. These are some of those players that are going to be cheap. Not some of them are, like Davis is going high, but Mixon at 80 is nice. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say there isn't a chance that he is good by week 1, or let's say he missed week 1 or 2 and he comes back and he plays worth this ADP, maybe. But at the same time, man, let's just take a gander. What other players would you rather have than Mixon right now? Travis Kelce? Yes, I would rather have done that, and I would have done that. Charbonnet? I'd take Charbonnet. Evan Ingram, who went at 97 overall. Which, honestly, when I like getting Kelce, but, part of me, in some ways, regrets not going Kelce at 79 a little early and Evan Ingram at 90, to be honest. Thoughts on Alvin Kamara? Not believing that he's going to be doing it all year. I think he's a player I'd be a little bit cautious of, my boy. Just a little itty-bitty cautious of him. Hollywood Brown. I've got Rashee Rice. I think this is smart for my build. So I've got Pat Mahomes, I've got Rashee Rice, and I've got Hollywood Brown. And even though Rice and Brown share that bye week 10, they're the only wide receivers I have with a bye week 10. I've got JJ 6, Higgins 6, and Travis Hunter 8. So feel pretty good about that. My running back stable is Bucky, Trey Henderson, Mason, and Tootin. I've got Mahomes at quarterback. I got Kelce at tight end. And again, JJ, Rice, Hunter, Higgins, Hollywood. Pretty solid. Thoughts on Hunter Renfrow? Not super excited about him. Can't for these people. You what?
He's buried in Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, sell high on Kamara, bro. He's 29 years old. I think, is he 29? He's 29, yeah.
Yeah, that's because he
or is he 30?
Did a trade. He might be 30.
Let's ask Ziggy. Ziggy, how old is Alvin Kamara? Put Ziggy to work. Ziggy, how old is Alvin Kamara, if you're not busy?
Alvin Kamara is 30 years old. 30. Was born on July 25th.
Yeah, that's right. His birthday was yesterday. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Kamara's birthday. Yeah, so he just turned 30. Knew he turned 30 during the season or during this, from weeks ago and leading into the season. So he just turned 30 yesterday. Oh, happy birthday, Alvin.
What do you think of I'll wait for you to make the next pick, and I'll ask you.
All right. This is tough. I don't want to be left without a quarterback, and you guys are sniping them. They're going like crazy. Look at that. Trevor Lawrence just went. I had to get Michael Penix Jr. He's a different bye week than Mahomes as well. I think it's 10-5, so that works out pretty good. And then I feel covered there. I also have, yeah, that was a good move. What's my take on Jaden Higgins? I took him. I like him. I just think that, he's capped a little bit. I think that him and like a Kyle Williams could be better in New England once he gets going. I don't know if it'll be right away, because if Diggs were to get hurt, let's say, and then all of a sudden Kyle Williams started to get more run because, let's say, Diggs got hurt, it would be a different situation for Kyle Williams from that point on. I think right now you could look at Higgins and Kyle Williams as the same type of value, but give me that Higgins value that Kyle Williams value all day long if he does cement himself in. Kind of like Pat Bryant. If Pat Bryant were to cement himself in, then give me the number one for the team. And they got a path for the number one wide receiver spot. If Stroud was a higher octane offense locked in and the offensive line wasn't in shambles, it'd be different, because you could say, oh, well, a wide receiver in the 2 in a great offense is better than the number 1 wide receiver. Like, for example, Michael Pittman Jr. There were so many number 2 wide receivers on teams that were better than Michael Pittman Jr. That year, everybody was taking him in like the 2nd and 3rd round, and I was screaming at the rooftops, like, what in the hell are you guys doing? Or Deontay Johnson in the 3rd round. I think he went in the 2nd too at times, but it was a 3rd round pick. I screamed from the rooftops, what in the hell are all you doing? We've called a lot of busts on this channel. Those are 2 head-scratching values that made me vomit. Same with Waddle over the years. I've been vomiting over Waddle's ADP for years. And, what was I even saying?
Higgins and Kyle Williams.
Oh, yeah. So Higgins is not only is he not in a great spot because of, the offensive line situation and everything. I'm just not I'm not loving it, bro. I'm just not. I do like Pat Bryant here. What's my team build look like? I get 2 quarterbacks, both different bye weeks. Penix Jr., Mahomes. I got Bucky, Trey Henderson, Jordan Mason, Tootin. All different bye weeks, all 4 of them. That's really good. That's very good for me to potentially just draft 5 running backs. JJ, Rice, Travis Hunter, Jaden Higgins, Hollywood Brown, Pat Bryant. So bye week 12. So my wide receivers bye weeks are spread out like crazy. I got Kelsey only at tight end. I think Kamara. I think Kamara has 3 good years, not great left, long as injuries don't bite him. And bro, that caps, I don't think so, bro. I mean, you're 30 years old. No. Could he have one more? He could. But Kamara does not have 3 years left. I promise you that. He's a 30-year-old running back, bro. You cannot use Derrick Henry as an example. You just can't. Even if he's a lighter player, on the knees, he's more of a wide receiver running back. It's not. He tailed off a little bit in terms of, he definitely caught the ball well and they threw to him a lot. But there is some physical, eyeball test decline that you could kind of see happening. And I wouldn't. That sounds hopeful because you have him in Dynasty. I'm just being honest. But trust your gut. I'm not touching Kamara in Dynasty. But you also can't get rid of him very easy. So letting him ball until the wheels fall off is also okay versus just getting rid of him because you heard me talk, bad about him or something. Like don't. Who's on
the phone?
Oh, is somebody on the phone?
We had hold of it.
Phone caller? I'm going to take another quarter. I never take Bryce Young. Let's do it. Let's try it.
Nice. I don't know. I heard the music, so I just assumed something.
Oh, yeah. He hung up right away as soon as I added him. Did Tony get whacked on the last episode? I think that's the vibe they wanted.
I think they did, but like I just said in the chat, I think if Gandolfini had lived, he wouldn't have, because they would have rebooted it like they do every other show.
Well, I got a bit of that. They should reboot The Sopranos anyway. I know we lost 2, but you could reboot it they were gonna do like one where Tony was younger, and they just never really they should do it on
the movie.
Yeah, the movie is okay. They should do it on HBO, and they should really.
Yeah.
All right, I guess some people are still trying to finish that season or that series, so I guess we'll stay quiet about it. Sorry, Dooney. Poor Dooney. I mean, once he gets abducted by aliens, it's all wild from there. No, I'm just kidding. Once they send the entire family to Mars, they colonize it, the series gets really weird at that point.
I mean, granted, if you I won't spoil anything, but if you haven't heard the ending yet, you're living under a rock. I mean, props to you for not hearing it.
All right, we're around number 15. Do I have a backup tight end yet? No, I don't. I don't hate Zach Ertz or Jonnu.
Ooh, Ertz. Ertz is safer. But Jonnu's not bad. I'll start with someone.
Sopranos, best show ever. Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad were probably tied for 2. Honestly, when I think about Breaking Bad, I could say it's 1. Game of Thrones, I don't think I'll put Game of Thrones over Sopranos or Breaking Bad, though. So it's either a tie between Sopranos and... Yeah, let's put it a tie. Sopranos and Breaking Bad, the number 1... tied for the number 1 show in the history of television. Game of Thrones is right up there. Sons of Anarchy for me is up there, even though it might not be for everybody. For some reason, but I can understand at least that some might not feel that way. And it's not 4 for me, but it's just, I just had to mention it before I forgot. I think probably one of my favorite shows of all time, and the fact that I'm talking about it in my top 5 or 6 should make some of you go watch it immediately, is Banshee. Yep. Banshee was one of the best series shows I've ever seen, and I can't even believe, I stumbled upon it one day, and I just couldn't believe it. Heard of it, I couldn't believe it. It's crazy. Dexter is good, but I would say Banshee is top 5 on my list all time. Banshee is insane. Prison Break. It was good, but Prison Break's kind of it was good. It's good TV.
It was good. They dragged that one on.
We're talking Breaking Bad. This is like bringing up Hunter Renfrow earlier. It's like, hey, what do you think about Rushy Rice? And what do you think about this? And someone's like, what about Renfrow? In the back. Hunter Renfrow. Peaky Blinders. Yeah, that's good. And you know what? I haven't finished it. I got derailed on it, and then I think what it was is I watch a lot of shows while I work in the studio. I put on stuff and stream it, and I streamed it, and I wasn't paying attention. I was crunching data. I think it was last year, maybe prior, but last year when I was doing strength of schedule, intense, and I couldn't listen to any of it, and it went through 9 or 10 episodes, and I had no idea what was going on. And then I kept watching, and I'm like, I'm not even entertained anymore, because I had no clue what was going on anymore, because I wasn't really hearing it. And so that's probably on me. I am watching Mayor of Kingstown, not suggesting that's in the top 10 conversation, but I am enjoying it. It's pretty good. I think I'm on episode 2.5 or 3. I've been like a slug. I've been about as slow as Chubb. Nick Chubb on watching it, but
Have you seen Boardwalk Empire before?
yeah, Boardwalk was good. Boardwalk Empire was really solid. That was a good one. Let me go to this call real quickly. I think this is David. David, you're live. What can I do for you, young man?
Question.
Yes.
I'm in a dynasty league.
Okay.
That consists 25 players. We have. And,
okay.
I have Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, and I don't remember the Giants quarterback they got, the rookie. Something
Dart.
Or
throwing darts.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I'm hurting on running backs, and I really want Trey Benson. So I'm thinking, I feel like Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy are going to have a great season. So I'm thinking of trading Lamar. Is a straight up trade for Trey Benson too little, or do I need to bump it up? Like first round pick.
Benson for what?
For Lamar Jackson. Trey Benson for Lamar Jackson.
Those players aren't even close in value. Like what you're getting.
So I should be asking for more.
I'd offer Dart for Benson in Superflex.
But you're saying Lamar Jackson. You're not saying trade Dart. You're saying trade Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm interested in Trey Benson. I need a running back.
But is this a one QB?
Yeah, it's one.
Okay, but I'm still gonna blast it. But I'm just saying, I just want to make sure I'm not triple blasting this. But bro, Lamar Jackson, I'm not saying Benson's not gonna be good, but this is like one of the worst ideas I've heard in probably maybe a couple months. Lamar Jackson is getting drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, you know, especially if it were, this is Dynasty?
Yeah, this is Dynasty. Well, I mean, I said, I have Bo Nix and JJ, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, but do something different. Don't just give them away to the top bidder, you know, like wait it out or something. But Lamar should get you. You'd be underselling getting like Trey Henderson or Harvey or Travis Hunter. You'd be, you could go get. I like Benson a lot, but Benson's not even a starter. Like this is
Lamar was the number 1 guy in fantasy.
Really bad, bro. This is really bad. Like you got to pump the brakes on this. Yeah, he's the highest scoring. You should be able to go get. You could probably go get Kyron, and people laugh at that, but you could get Kyron. You could get Breece Hall. You could get Bucky Irving. Like Lamar in a dynasty could get you Bucky Irving or Kyron or Hall at least. You're going after a guy that's not even a starter.
So Benson and maybe a first-round pick next year.
No, stop thinking Benson.
More.
You just said you need a running back. Why are we? I like Benson a lot. He's a big-time sleeper of mine. But why are we having this conversation? Like you need to go get. You need to go get a running back.
Benson. Who do they need a QB? Obviously, so like, do they have any other elite players? Get Benson and an elite player.
Bro, I need you to log out of your leagues and lose your password. You can't. What are you doing, cooking this stuff up? No, absolutely no. I'm gonna send you on a lap for your own good. I'm not gonna hang up on you, but you need to go on a lap.
Take a big lap.
You going to what?
A lap. Take a lap, like,
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. You got, just so you remember it.
All right.
Bro, your trade, if you need a running back, you got to trade for a running back that's starting. I love Benson. But you know what Benson would be? He'd be a throw-in in this deal. He would be, you're getting, let's say, Travis Hunter and Benson, and people still would question it. And you get a free Travis Hunter on top of Benson to do this trade. And that's even questionable.
I have Hunter, but
that's not the point.
I already have Travis Hunter.
That's not the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if I like Bo Nix for Trey Benson? Is that still too much?
Yes, it's still too much.
Way too much.
But, bro, I don't know why you're stuck on Benson. Benson's, I love him, but he's not the starter yet. I think he will be, but you don't have any guarantees on that at all. Stop focusing on Benson. Go get. I just told you the answer. Go get Kyron. Go get And even Kyron's, mileage but Kyron, Hall, Hampton, you need that player. Think about it. This is this easy, bro. Think about what I'm about to say and just let it register and stop talking about Benson. Benson's a throw-in. You need to go get Hampton and Benson. You need to go get Kyron and Benson. Benson's not a part of this trade. He could be a throw-in. You need to think of it from this perspective. Where are you drafting Lamar in a 1 QB? Doesn't matter how many QBs you have. You're in a 1 QB league. Where are you drafting Lamar in a dynasty startup? 3rd round, which is obviously really late, but it's where quarterbacks go. 3rd round? Is that okay? So why aren't you valuing Lamar as a 3rd rounder? Why are you valuing Lamar? Benson would get drafted in double-digit rounds. In a dynasty startup, you might go in maybe 8 or 9, I guess. Maybe if someone's feeling frisky and they're like, I believe in him, he's doing it, and he's not guaranteed anything. He's not. So he goes in round 8 or 9. You're trying to take a round 8 or 9 backup running back who we love for a guy getting drafted in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Who lives in the 3rd round? Hampton. Breece Hall lives in the 4th round. It's not even enough. You need to get Benson and Hampton. You need to get Benson and Hall.
About Pacheco?
Look, I hope you got thick skin.
What again?
You got thick skin.
Thick skin? I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I hang up on you right now, not because I don't want you to stop watching the channel. It's just what we do when you.
Yeah, man. I won't get offended.
I don't want to. I want to help him. Let me just send you on another lap.
Good.
Hold on. Stay here.
Take a big lap.
Bro, Pacheco is a worse idea than Benson. Why are you focused? Bro, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Are you drafting? Hold on, Travis. Hold on 1 second. Let me just. I gotta get this off my chest. Are you drafting Pacheco in the 3rd round? Where are you drafting Pacheco in a dynasty startup? Be honest.
Man, I would draft him probably 5th round, 6th round.
Finish him. Call terminated.
I tried. I was really gonna not hang up on him. He needs that one. Hey, if you're watching, bro, don't get mad. Call back again. But bro, 5th round Pacheco in redraft is not going in the single digit rounds. Pacheco's going maybe 9, 10 or whatever in redraft. In dynasty, he might not have a job in 6 months. I don't know why this isn't registering. If you're still watching, take a look at players getting drafted around Lamar. Even if Pacheco went in round 5, you're getting robbed even then because Lamar, you just said, went in round 3. Why are you kicking tires on players that don't sniff round 3? Listen to what I'm saying. It's Hampton, it's Henderson, and even then you're needing maybe more, and you might get laughed at. It's Hampton, it's Henderson, it's Breece Hall, it's Kyron. Travis?
Yeah,
don't hang up.
The Pacheco thing. I was going to tell him, pull up the Benson team and tell us who he had. I'll give you an example of someone that, make an offer with lost Benson. But
oh my God.
Just he needs to bring the trade to the chat or call back in before he sends the trade. Because he's going to get ripped apart.
You got to draft someone with potential.
I'm not saying that to insult them.
Apprehensively.
You live and you learn, you figure it out. But
apprehensively.
Draft
for potential. Did I call last night? Says Mac. Mac, what?
He had a phone to pick, remember?
Oh yeah, Mac, you called. What did you call last night? You don't even remember it? He said, I got a bone to pick with you, Smitty. And I said, this does not end well, Mac. And then I served you. Thank you, Mac, for the super chat. Go watch it. I don't know what point you got dunked on, but it was somewhere. Traded Lad. I think it was in the beginning. of the show. Traded Ladd Jacobs.
Right away.
Yeah, it was in the beginning. I think you were the first caller. So go after the time when I opened the phone line. Traded Ladd Jacobs and Jaden Higgins for JSN Kyron and Trey Harrison Dynasty. Traded Ladd Jacobs and Higgins for JSN Kyron, and I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I could understand somebody saying Ladd's too valuable, and I love Jacobs, and I get that, and that's fine. I'm not hating on that, but I like Kyron. I like JSN. I like Trey Harris. I love Ladd. Not huge on Higgins, but I like him, Jaden Higgins, and definitely not in on Jacobs for the long term. Some potential, Mac. That generation nonsense is what I think the generation's called. All right, Travis, anything else? Thank you, Travis D. Appreciate you. I think I had some super chats, or I got them all out. Mac, appreciate you. Sam, two more.
I think, yeah.
What's your thoughts on my
More
team?
from Mac.
The 3 spot. Okay, I'll look at that 1 second. And Sam says, imagine how mad Davante Adams is going to be when he thought he escaped Jimmy G in Vegas and could be his quarterback if Stafford's out. I don't understand the Rams or McVay why you would do that to Davante Adams. Davante Adams, if you remember, he went to the sideline, threw his helmet down. He's like, he's trying to get me killed. He was so mad. He was so mad. He basically said, get him out or I'm done. And I tried to warn. Remember, everybody said I was, this is another one that we called like to a T. I said Jimmy's the worst quarterback in the league, the potential starter in the league, worst potential starter in the league by far. That Adams is going to, it's going to be a horrible, horrible thing for Adams. And Adams was getting fed hospital balls. And Jimmy Garoppolo just proved to be the worst. I don't know why you would bring him in, number one. Number two, I don't know why you bring him in when Adams clearly does not want to play football with him ever again. And if this thing goes awry, Puka down in value. If Stafford, and this is a big if, we don't know yet. Stafford's going to be reevaluated next week. The fact that the verbiage was very carefully cooked up and crafted that said the goal is to have him ready for week 1. I didn't like that verbiage. I want to hear them say the goal is to have him ready by Monday, instead of Tuesday. That's when someone says a goal, he'll be all right. The goal is to have him ready by, instead of midweek, we want an early week. We're like, okay. So next week, I think I'm okay with that. I'm not going to panic yet. But when you say the goal is week 1, this sounds a lot like the Najee Harris situation. Najee Harris, we expect him to be ready for week 1. What in the hell does that mean? We're in July. Najee, the more we wait on Najee, the more we're going to be right on this thing. This thing is not what it seemed. I told everyone this smelled fishy from the beginning, that this sounded really, really fishy, and that Hampton stock was climbing while the markets were closed, and we were all over it. As for Davante Adams, poor Davante, it's going to be miserable. And Puka and Davante and Kyron takes a hit, but Kyron's, proved that you give him more work and he can still get closer to his numbers than any other person in that system could get closer to their expected numbers. But it certainly opens up the door to more injury. It's going to take him more carries to get it done. He'll go from 5.1 or 5.0 yards per carry like he has done when things were good, and then last year he was at 4.1-ish or whatever. He'll go from 5.0 to 4.1 again and get kind of worn down, and so there's injury risk, So I'm not excited about having no Stafford, but he is the one player that will survive the best, but he'll still explode from 4th round value. On top of that, this is simple science. If Kyron Williams is going at, let's call it, on average across all platforms, 3.5 to 4.1 or 4.2. That's where Kyron's kind of going. It's wild that he goes in this later part, but he can even go like 3.1 in some formats, but let's call it 3.4 to 4.2. If Stafford is, out of the picture, let's say his back is horrible and we're lied to and it ends up being a season-long thing, which I'm not saying it is, but if it was, Kyron's ADP wouldn't stay here. So even though he's less efficient, he would go straight into round 4, and his new ADP would be 4.1 to 5.2 or something. And so you'd have a new Kyren value. People already hate him to begin with, it seems, over, for whatever reason. And so you'd have a different newfound value that you have to reevaluate. But he certainly wouldn't be worth more. It's just a matter of how much less efficient will he be, and will he get more volume to compensate that? And we did the simple math. 4.1 yards per carry times 350 carries is, let me do the math on that. 350 times 4.1 is 14. So 1435. And then if you give him just 300 carries times 5.1, that is 1530. So 350 less carries at 5.1 and less injury risk. That's what you're going to be dealing with. Like, is he going to get, I don't even think he necessarily gets, he could get like 295. He could get 295, rush for 1,500-ish yards even, or run for, even this could be worse. It could be 3.8 yards per carry. It sucks, but that's the reality of the situation if there's no quarterback there. It's Jimmy Garoppolo at stacked boxes. So you're talking about maybe this actually being something along the lines of like 1280 and, sub like 3 point, I don't know how many carries this will be, but let's say it's 340. And who knows what that would be, average wise. I guess let me figure that out. So it'd be 1280. So we're looking at 3.7, so 3.8, 3.9 yards per carry. And that's not his fault. This is where people say he's not explosive. He's not explosive. He is, because this is where he really lives when things are good, when things are solid. So let's just hope we're not dealing with a 50, 60 carry overworked Kyren and we get Stafford. Now, for all the people freaking out on Stafford, we have to remember that Stafford is right now just a question mark for next week. So let's not overreact on the verbiage of the goal is to have him ready for week one. I think what we could take away from that McVay statement, though, and I haven't actually heard the actual statement be said, but what if he's saying it like this? We're gonna have him, show up on Monday and work, but we're gonna actually not have him show up Monday because the goal is week one. Like, why are we worried about it now? Why are we gonna put his week one at risk if he goes out there now when he can wait another week and be fine? The goal is week one. The goal is to have him ready for week one. Why will we mess with that? That's how maybe he said it. I'm going to try and pull the footage, but that might be the way he's trying to say it. So we'll have to wait and see. This could be a complete overreaction by everybody. And I'm not saying I'm not feeding into a little bit of that, but it's my job to go live on a big piece of news like Stafford is the goal is to have him ready for week one. Like, what in the hell does that mean? So we'll have to play it by ear. But my guess is it's probably more along the lines of what it just said. Sam, thank you. And then I'm going to look at the 3-pick and have Travis close out anything he wants to say. 3-pick. Travesty, Landed Lad. I think I got these out of the way. Okay. Let me go here. 3-pick. He said 3-pick, right?
Yep.
Who is it whose team is this? What are your thoughts?
Alex, L.
Oh, that's Yusuf?
Oh.
I remember Yusuf from the chat, their streams. Bro, there's times where I feel like, yeah, I've yelled at you, and yet I remember you not being worthy of ever being yelled at in the past when your name in the YouTube videos were Yusuf. I remember Yusuf. Okay, it's so hard to put all these names together when you guys name change. You're like, hey, it's not your fault, but Yusuf, you got CeeDee Lamb, Chase Brown, JT. Not a big fan of JT, but I understand third round value. I get it. I know what time it is. Tet McMillan. Again, I love the Tet McMillan 5-6 round value. I don't love him in the 3-4 turn. And this might be, this is obviously a later 4th round pick, so I'm a little more okay with it, but I still don't love him as my 4th drafted player, though. But that's me. JT, Tet, JMO. I like the JMO value a lot more there than when he was living in the 3-4 territory as well. Jennings, no thank you. I mean, there's a lot of players here you're drafting that I clearly always tell you I don't love. I don't love Goff. I don't love Christian Kirk in the 11th round. I don't like that. David Montgomery, he's okay, but he's not somebody I draft a lot. Juwan Jennings, I'm not touching Juwan Jennings. I think in the 5th and 6th round territory. Tet's not my favorite pick in 4. He's better than the 3, like I said. JT, I'm not really going near. Like, you draft a lot of players I clearly always tell you I don't like, so you're clearly going to hear an answer from me that you don't probably like. But you know that because you watch my show a lot. But trust your gut.
Different Yusuf.
Oh, different Yusuf, okay. Last year I took Chase at the 6th spot in my high stakes league. So many people from this channel smashed on Chase Brown.
Oh, let's see. Mac had one more.
Chase Brown. Mac, best ball. What do you mean about 3 tight ends? In best ball, what do you think? Sorry. Wait, Mac, why you with this millennial or whatever, or not millennial, this generation ZX, whatever it is, with the abbreviations of everything. What do you think? I put some of that together, but I don't know that I've ever typed what do you think? WDYT.
No.
I see it. I see stuff like it all the time, obviously, and I read very good shorthand, and I put it together. But it's just like the potential, like everything is just abbreviated for you, Mac. Like the phone call last night. In the best ball, what do I think the potential is? What about 3 times tight end Gray, Hill, and Mason?
With the Noah Gray, Haysom Hill, and Mason.
Haysom Hill? Bro, the potential there. He's coming back for a torn ACL. We don't know if he'll even play this year. So the potential on that, as you would say, is very bad. I don't mind Mason and Gray if you've got a bigger, stronger player ahead of those guys. But no, I don't think... Bro, you're grabbing... your 3rd tight end's the only one guaranteed anything. He's the one you're drafting last. I like Mason. I don't mind him. But you need to draft another bigger, stronger player, bro. This is not it. This is a recipe for disaster. Like, get Mason, Arroyo, and an Ingram. Get a likely at least with Mason and Arroyo. Or something like that. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. What do you mean you don't know what? What do you mean you don't know what you're talking about? I don't know. What's good, Smitty? Would you trade Neighbors for Chase Brown and Kelsey? If I like losing, yeah, I probably would. Usually don't draft 3 if they're all late. I draft 3 tight ends in underdog all the time, but I draft ones that'll play. I don't draft a tight end like Taysom Hill who's not slated to play a single game. Yeah, I was confused on that one too. What is he? What's the last one? What do you mean?
Is it what you think?
Okay.
I'm okay with not knowing all that because their generation doesn't even know how to tell time on the clock. So.
Yeah, they don't even. Yeah, they don't know how to tell time. They also don't know. I don't think they know how to like do laundry or anything either. Their mom's still hot pocket, ma hot pocket.
No offense, guys. Useless.
Where's my good shirt? Shell. Chase Brees Hall, Hampton. This is a perfect example of. Now I'm going to say one positive thing, then I'm going to say a negative thing. This is a perfect example of when you do reach for RBs. I don't mind reaching for these specific 2 RBs, but the wide receivers didn't fall for you, so then it hurts, But I think Pickens and Diggs as your wide receiver. I like Pickens though a lot. RJ Harvey. Pickens is not a bad 2, actually. He's pretty good, but yeah. So your team: Brees Hall, Hampton, Jamar Chase, George Pickens, RJ Harvey, Diggs, Bo Nix, Charbonnet. I think you did a little bit of reaching there, and I think that potentially just set the team back a little bit of what it could have been, and you were in a snipe environment, so the players just didn't fall for you, so you made 3 pretty significant, 4 or 5 pretty significant reaches. You had to reach on a QB, they're flying off the board, but Bo Nix doesn't live in round 7 ever. Sharps is not guaranteed anything, and you took him in 8. And then Pickens is a good receiver. I like him. I love him as a wide receiver 3, but 4th round feels really high. RJ Harvey at the top of 5 is earlier than his ADP. Diggs in 6 is massively high. So you just did, like, the combination of consistent reaching left the team kind of thin. Now, my team, I'm not going to say I didn't do some reaching. What pick was I? I was number 7. So I got JJ, Bucky, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter. I did some reaching too. But I do think that my team with Trey, Bucky, Mason, JJ, Rice, Hunter, Mahomes, Kelsey, it feels pretty solid. But that's my take. I mean, obviously, you're going to like your own team a little more than anybody else because you picked those players. I don't know. I like your squad. I just think that if you weren't in a snipe environment, I'm pretty sure your Chase Hall Hampton reach would have worked out. So I guess my advice would be don't run away from that. Just make sure if you're not drafting in a snipe environment where guys are just taking all the show players early, you don't abandon it just because it didn't work this one time. And this is a $3 draft, so smash that. And someone said they had the 7 pick, was it? Or 8? I think my 8
would have the 8 and the 9.
8 and 9. McCaffrey, London, T, Mike Evans, Chuba, Sam Laporta, Mixon, Godwin. Not my cup of tea, man. Love London. Like Laporta, or like Chuba. I like Sam Laporta. I don't know. Not a McCaffrey guy. Not a T. Higgins, even in 3. I think he's just way overdrafted. I've taken him. Yeah, it was a snipe environment, Shell. Don't give up on that trio that you started with, but you'll get a better fall. Like, you'll get Hunter, you'll get Debo. You know what I mean? Hunter, Debo, Jamar Chase with Brees Hall and Hampton. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You still get Bo Nix later. That would be a league-winning type of team. So, Shell, try run it back without us. Yeah, I don't like this McCaffrey team. And then 9, Nico, A.J. Brown, Josh Allen, Kittle, Connor, Swift. This is where the Excel sheet Eric content creators are, making you think that you can wait on RBs like that, and I don't think you can. Swift and Connor, you might not have a starter between those 2 running backs by midseason. You can't win with that. I'm sorry, this is my honest opinion. And this is all training so that you can do better and hit home runs, but you can't draft Swift and Connor as your 2 starting running backs. I don't know what you got later. Let's take a little gander. Tajay Spears ain't bad. I like that, but Jacoby Myers, I mean, this is par for the course, just going straight down here. Mooney's injured. I don't know, bro. Not my cup of tea. All right, Travis, I'm out of here.
Yep. Talk to you later, Smitty. Thanks.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Later. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you, Shell. Thank you, all of you, for the super chats. Thank you. What's your Lil? What was Little's name again? Yusuf. Little, thank you, Little, for the super chat. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mac. Mac with the double. Double. Travesty, appreciate you. Mike, 15. Travesty again. Dom, thank you, Dom. Shell to the moon. Sky Blue for Dreadkins. Oh, yeah, I answered that one. Okay. Lemming, appreciate you, Lemmings. Kenwar to the moon with a $20 hauler. Kenwar, hopefully the advice, it made sense. I appreciate you, bro. Eric Paz, appreciate you. Serge, thank you. Shell with the $20 hauler, thank you. Serge again, thank you. Scotty Do, Famous Amos, my boy. Scotty Do again. Stizzle. DJ, appreciate DJ in the building tonight early on with the super chat. And Hondo, appreciate you. And then Jacob with the first super chat of the evening. If I missed anybody's super chat, as always, put it in the comments and get my attention and say, Smitty, you missed my super chat. Don't lie. I'll know. And then you'll... Cam Ward to the moon. Bo Nix to the moon. Bo Nix needs a video. Don't forget, I'm going to go on Patreon right now. Patreon is my 365 24/7 live chat group. And in there right now, I'm going to type in the general chat. Yo, any late night post graveyard topics. So I'm in my live chat right now. Here's the link to it. If anybody wants to subscribe to it, hit this link right here. Jump in and chat with us. It's a 24/7 365 chat group. It's like extending the live chat. There's the link. I just dropped it. Don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live at midnight, like this show right here, midnight Eastern, almost every single night, drafting on Underdog. Promo code Smitty, link pinned in the live chat. Don't forget to get on over to Underdog. They'll match your first deposit 50%. That link is in the description of the video if you're watching a replay. It's in the live chat. Make sure you're signed up in advance before we draft. I'm additionally live whenever big news breaks. This is your one-stop shop. We do it live here. Appreciate you.